Good evening and welcome to Poker Night Live. I'm Lyndsay. I'm joined tonight by Tikay for the second time. Looking forward to tonight, Tikay.
Amazingly. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
You're looking a bit special tonight.
Oh, thank you. I thought I'd go a bit summery tonight.
You look like you're getting married or something.
Such a lovely day.
You just look wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much. And we've got lots to talk about with you later on because you've been on a bit of a good streak, haven't you? All over.
A little bit, yes.
All over the world.
Oh, so you mean at poker?
At poker, yes.
Oh,
and out for poker. So we're going to be talking about that a bit later on. As always, we're here with you till 2 o'clock, watching live internet Texas Hold'em. We've got cash games. We've got an MTT, a free roll tonight, but with a very interesting prize and the usual sit and goes as well. We're live and fully interactive, and we want you to get involved. It's amateur night tonight, so we want all of your questions through to the studio, even if it's just quite a basic question. If there's a part of your game that you're struggling with a bit, please do send those questions through and Tikay will do his best to help you out.
Make them nice and easy, please.
Yes, please do. Okay, here's how you can get in touch. You can text us. There's the number 84222. Put the word poker at the start of your message, 84222. Or if you prefer to email, there's the address. It's poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. And if you'd like to check out our website and find any more information about the show, there it is. It's www.pokernightlive.co.uk. So we want lots of involvement from you tonight, guys. Lots of questions, or if you've got any interesting stories. If you've been on a bit of a winning streak like Tikay, we'd like to hear from you as well. We like to hear good stories, don't we?
Yes, it wouldn't say winning streak, a running up streak.
Well, yeah, but still winning, still in the money. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. Okay, we've got lots of games coming up, Tikay. Would you take us around the tables? Okay,
let's do that. And we begin tonight. Amongst our featured games, we will start with a $5 sit and go, which is underway. It's on level 2 at present. And a few of our regular friends are on there, including Thickhead, Lyndsay, Fishing for Chips. We see these guys everywhere. It's nice to see them. And they're already in good shape. And then we're going to move on to a $10 sit and go, which is in level 1 as we join it. The cutely named Wife's a Bitch plays in this.
Nice. How polite.
Let's hope his wife isn't watching, else life will be a bitch. And our third pool to call is a $20 sit and go, which is in level 2 right now. And that includes Charwell, who's on several tables, Lyndsay, Mr. Perfect, Snaky, who we see every week, and I Am So Lucky. So we'll be popping back to that quite soon. Tonight's featured cash is 25 cent, 50 cent, and as seems to be always the case, Joanne Horne is sat there with a stack of money. The maximum pull-up is $50. He's sat there with 144 bucks, so he's doing his normal thing and running over the table. And we'll be going backwards and forwards to that throughout the evening. Seats will become available, so get yourself on. We will do. So get those questions coming through. We'll get some of your emails and texts a bit later. 84222 is the text number, or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. And our MTT, which we're going to be looking at a bit later on, the first prize, I have to tell you, I think it's definitely one for the boys tonight, and a very sought after prize, I have to say. First prize is a seat on the FHM Poker Tour. Okay, so not only do you get the seat in the tournament, which is in Oslo, on Thursday the 24th of August, you also get flights, 1 night's accommodation, and this is what the boys are going to be going to love. The FHM girls are going to be dealing the cards. Oslo is a wonderful place, and the win includes the airfare and the hotel there. Yeah. So that is a fantastic prize, and you'll love Oslo. You really will. There's very, very crisp air and nice atmosphere. Smashing place. And the FHM girls, just an added bonus. There you go. Second prize is $300 as well, and third prize $100. And you also get the Purple Lounge T-shirt and music CD. So there you go. So lots of good stuff coming up tonight. Right, let's head over to our first game. It's a $20 tourney. So we picked them up, and as we mentioned earlier, our friend Sir Snaky is in seat 1, and we find it a very interesting situation here, where with the aces have been dealt to Dino in seat 2 on the button. Probably a good a place as any to get them. Yeah. What he needs is somebody with a hand, and he finds Charwell
who's probably the chip leader at this stage, with a pretty hand in ace-jack, and he's managed to keep him. Now, how slow can he play this? I fancy a lot of chips are going to get involved in this hand. He bets a very, very sensibly 120 into a 420 pot. Charwell falls for it, rises to the bait, calls that. I have to say Dino is betting this very nicely, just the right amount. He's now bet 200 into a 700 pot, indicating either weakness or strength.
Yeah.
Charwell sussed it out.
Smelt it,
Smelt
didn't he?
a rat and managed to get away, but not before paying Dino quite a few chips.
Yes, he managed to make those aces pay, I thought,
Yeah,
didn't
he
he?
played them very, very nicely, I have to say. If it goes wrong when you play them slow, then you're made to look an idiot and people say you don't know what you're doing, but you know, sometimes you just want to do that.
It's quite easy for new players as well to get carried away when they see aces and just to overbet them. And
It
then
is, yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't
there's a
make
balance, and it depends on what stage of the tournament. But I thought they played them lovely there, and because it didn't go wrong, it worked out nicely. When it goes wrong, you look a bit silly.
Yes.
So here we have Crespo and Charwell, again two regulars. So they both got a diamond in their hand on an all diamond flop. Charwell actually has a straight flush draw. You don't see those too often, so I'm not sure he'll want to go away too cheaply. That apart, he has nothing. He has a straight draw as well, of course. Crespo has the jack flush draw and now has a straight draw. They both have a straight draw. He has a straight draw to the queen,
Yeah.
with a queen. Charwell with a deuce.
He needs a two.
It's unlikely to be either. If it's a diamond, I think Charwell will let go.
Unless, of course, it's the two of diamonds.
Yeah, well,
is
don't
quite
ever let it go in a
unlikely.
month of Sunday. This pot is getting frighteningly big, given how many chips are in play. They've all missed.
Yeah, doesn't come.
Crespo's winning with the king jack, but doesn't know that. Charwell's represented the ace very nicely with position, and continues to dominate the table. Great stuff. It's handy when you've got that ace on the board and you have position, it's been checked out, or a weak bet, you can
You
cash.
see the weakness.
Yeah.
The first one to bet and show strength normally
Correct.
takes it.
That's it. And Charwell does it as well as any of these guys. They all began with 2,000 chips, and Charwell in level 2 has increased those by 55%, 60%. Not in any one big pot either, it's just gradual accumulation. He's caught a bit of this as well, but he hasn't caught as much as Snaky, who has top two pairs if I'm not mistaken. Goodness me.
That a case of overbetting?
Well, I'm sure Snaky had a reason for doing it that way, but it looked a very, very big bet. He wasn't going to get called by anybody except someone with trips.
Yes.
And if they got trips, they're going to call anyway, so that was risking a lot of chips. For the only thing that was out there was a straight draw, really, but when you got top two pair, I think you want to get paid. And he's bet the whole lot there. It is worth remembering, he's only going to get called if somebody's got trips.
He's only going to get called really if someone's beating him.
Correct. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So, you know, perhaps not always wise to stick all your chips in like that. But he's got the money, and that's all that matters. Charwell will not let go of Jack King pre-flop, and there isn't enough around to resist. And they both flop top pair. Now, one of Snaky's going to get out of trouble here. Jack 9 is quite a nice holding on that board, but it's not as good as Charwell's Jack King,
No.
and he's going to need to get very lucky. He could flop a 7, of course. Well, Snaky's done another 400 chips there, and to be fair, it's hard to know he was behind.
Yeah, because the board didn't look too scary,
No,
did it?
no,
for
the
Jack
ace
9?
probably saved Snaky there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because neither of them had the ace, but he didn't know that, so it probably got him out of trouble. But he's running into a little bit of happy weather. He's down to 730 now, but we've seen him play in the past. We know that he can dig himself out this hole. Not this hand though. Am So Lucky with the pocket tens is going to take it without resistance.
It's quite a nice structure, this tournament, when they're starting with
is.
2,000 chips. It's not so much
Yes.
of a crapshoot as the one.
That's right.
The ones where you start with 1,000.
With blinds at 48, and on this structure, Snaky can still get out of trouble
Yes.
without a problem. He doesn't need to press the panic
It's a
button
lot
yet.
more calmed and controlled, isn't it?
Yep, and we see Charwell keeps picking up a sort of all manner of hands. Has the smallest pair here against a suited ace for Crespo, and Charwell would do well to win this hand if Crespo bets at any stage. Crespo actually has a straight draw, requires a 10. Again, once again, takes it.
Yeah.
Quite some player, this guy. Sees the weakness, or lady, or whatever it is. Sees the weakness. Delay Serre, if that's how you pronounce it, has got the big snake.
I'll go with that, yes. That looks
And
about
so
right.
Snakey's moved all in with the 7s. He's going to get looked up by Delay Serre for certain. For absolute certain.
I can't see him he's not calling that.
He would get looked up in that situation by any overpair or by Ace King. The Ace King has missed the flop, has missed the turn, but picks up 4 outs for the 10s,
draw, yeah.
but misses them. And well done, Snakey. We said he could get back.
Yeah.
He's doubled up. He's done it by the brute force method, by getting all his chips and inviting a call from a better hand or a bigger hand or a big hand. Got the call, rode the danger, doubled up. Back in it now.
Yeah, came just at the right time for Snakey there,
Yep.
I think.
Now, Mr. Perfect in the blinds has got a little flush draw, but he doesn't want to get too excited because Snakey has a much bigger one. And the flush draw, the flop brings 2 hearts. Snakey will not let go of this hand, come what may, and has top pair. Mr. Perfect thinks a flush would be good. A flush misses, and Snakey takes it back anyway. Well, he's gone from 700 to 1800 in 2 hands. Inflicted damage fairly randomly across the table. Plenty of nice playable hands here. We've got an ace-8, a queen-8, a king-8, so there won't be many 8s coming. And Mr. Perfect with a suited ace-10. I can't see him calling a 240 bet with blinds at 40-80. If he does, he's very brave, but he's actually ahead.
He's thinking about it. I think Charwell might
Well, he
call
can't.
it though.
Neither of them can call. They
no.
need to raise to find out where they are, I think. But they've done the next best thing and got out of the way. Probably wise. Well, I don't know if Charwell's going to get any action here with deuce 3. But there's a suited ace in seat 1. Seat 1 as where the button's from.
Yeah.
Seat 8 on this table. Not much else about. The suited ace has raised it up under the gun, representing a big hand. Am so lucky. Might be tempted, but he'd be wise to let go.
Yeah, because he's in such early position, it
Yeah.
looks like he has a hand. If maybe Charwell and Mr. Perfect did that, it might look like they were just trying
Correct.
to take his blind.
Yep. The Lace Array with King Jack takes a fancy to that and calls. I like the call. I'd rather a little raise here so they know where they stand. And just to shut me up, has flopped top pair with a jack kicker and is winning this pot quite comfortably at the moment, which is a 320 pot. He won't let it. He won't play it slow because of the 2 diamonds. So we're looking to see quite a sizable bet here, maybe 300, and he puts in a bet of 240. That's fine. Takes it without a fuss. Very nice. Now there's not a great deal out here. We may see Snakey take this pre-flop. Legitimate call from Am So Lucky on the button with King 10. Snakey should raise this up now. Just to prove me wrong. Just checks it. Nobody knows where they are now. Except he does have a
straight draw.
a straight draw. Puts a little bet in to see where he is. Tries to represent something. Don't really think Am So Lucky can call. Good play.
Yeah, he could have had the flush there,
Yeah,
couldn't
they've had
he?
all sorts of stuff. That was the key there. We said he bet too much before with that top 2 pair, but that little bet on the end there was very nice. If he was in trouble, he could get away, but it represented some sort of hand. Took the pot down.
And it's very important to either, if you're going to make the bet and you're representing a hand, you at least, even if it gets called or you get re-raised, at least you found out where you are.
That's right. Ask the question. It could be sat there with a monster, so it's best to find out if you can, and the structure allows it. And I think we'll see some interest here. It depends what Mr. Perfect does with his pair of jacks. If it hadn't been for those jacks, Snakey might have got lively here, but sees the danger, gets out of the way. The small blind's entitled to call this raise with 9-10 suited, but decides discretion's a better part of value, or valour, gets out of the way. Crespo's has become tail end Charlie, but there's still plenty of time. No big hands out here. Lyndsay is just partaking of some refreshment, non-alcoholic.
Yes,
I must stress.
I have to
before,
point that
before
out.
anybody suggests otherwise.
It's thirsty work, all this sunshine.
She's already had the alcoholic. Right, Ace Queen. Gonna take this without resistance, I suspect. And so it continues. Really is a good structure, this.
Yeah, I do like it. I like the way it's more controlled, and you don't get to that point so quickly where everyone's getting short stacked and
Nope.
everyone just keeps pushing all in.
I played one of these in the Beat Presenter, still didn't manage to win it, of course, but it's much better, the better structure.
Yeah.
I played two last week because I made a mess of the first one, a rather early mess. So Mr. Perfect in the blinds with Ace Deuce. His Deuce is winning, he doesn't know that. Can't see too much action here. Well, there you go. Charwell steals it.
I did actually on
You stole.
Monday night. No, I made a mess very early on. Well, actually, I thought it was quite unfortunate. It was ace jack up against a pair of twos.
Oh well. You have to have these battles
Yeah.
at some stage.
Sometimes you just have to take a chance.
Yep. So we have Snakey with a very pretty Ace Queen suited. Plays it properly, everybody gets out of the way, takes the blinds down. When the blinds at 81.60, that's perfect. Exactly what he wants to do. He's took 240 without seeing a flop, paid the rent for a round, and no drama. I'm so lucky he's going to move in with the Ace King here. How much? 480, just about right, just beneath the pot size raise. 3 big blinds. Snakey can't really call this.
There's only really Crespo at the moment who those blinds are threatening.
Yep. Yes, he's still got a full raise in him, so he hasn't got to panic yet.
Yes.
Now Snakey could get in trouble here with Ace Jack if he plays it too leery, because Dino's sitting behind him with pocket jacks. And that's exactly what's happened. He's put a decent raise in. Dino's going to re-raise here. Snakey would be wise. Snakey actually calls. Snakey needs an ace here, or 2 diamonds at the time. Sorry, 2 spades at the time, which is now. Oh, he found his ace. Oh my goodness.
On the river.
Oh my goodness.
And look at
Ace
Dean
Jack
now.
beats jacks. That is very unfortunate.
It's always more painful when it's on the river as well, isn't it?
It's not Snakey's fault, but when I see a big hand beaten by some sort of ace, I always think it's a little bit unlucky.
Yeah.
You know, the best hand going in. Snakey committed himself to the hand before the ace fell,
Yes.
and was only drawing to 3 outs really. And it's amazing how often those 3 outers fall. But anyway, good luck to him. So we haven't lost Dino, but he's seriously unwell. And Crespo's going the same way next, so these 2 guys need to get moving soon.
Yeah, he needs to find a hand. Quick
Charlie
spot.
looks the pick of the table to me. Very much the pick of
He's
the table.
playing very well.
Yep.
From what we've seen so far. Crespo, is this the hand he's going to push in with? Yes, Queen 10.
Yeah, no reason why not, but he's going to get looked up by King Queen, and they're going to need to get lucky now.
Needs a 10.
10 is it.
No.
Crespo, it's been nice.
Oh,
It's been
first one
emotional,
out.
but I'm sorry that's out.
Yeah.
So we see Snakey and Charwell dominating, and deservedly so. They're probably, as far as I've seen these players, with Delisa really the best 3 on the table. They may be better, but I've not seen them, and I've only seen a few. Charwell has been the pick of this table by a long way. Snakey's been very aggressive. His aggression has paid dividends. So we have 7 left, and we have Dean all in. He's caught his deuce. He's actually winning with ace deuce here against
Yes.
king queen and 10-6, as he should. But he wasn't expecting the 2 to be the winner.
No,
He's not leading now because Charwell's caught the 10. As Dino's all in, he can't do anything about it. So a deuce or an ace is needed for Dino. Mr. Perfect has a straight draw, a gut shot straight draw, or a queen or a king. So he's got about 10 outs here if he does but know it. He decides to let go very wisely. He did miss his draw. Charwell once again with a 10-6 takes the hand. We're down to 6.
Yeah, Charwell
And
dominating
Charwell
now.
carries on his or her merry way.
I think it is a man.
How do
I'm
you know
sure
that?
we've had emails before.
All right.
Although I can't remember the real name. Maybe you can get in touch, Charwell, and let us know. You can send us an email, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk.
Pocket fours against ace jack. Not a very fair matchup on that flop. The ace jack takes it down without any drama at all. This time, Am So Lucky won't be letting go so easy though.
No.
Unfortunately, he doesn't find anybody with a hand.
Yeah, no one's
But
gonna...
you know, we're blinds at 81.60, so what? That should be 240 in the pot, 320 in the pot without any drama.
Yeah, you shouldn't be down that no one wants to get
Yeah.
involved. You should be happy that
That's
he's
it.
at least taken the blinds because
Yeah.
they're a decent size now.
Which he does.
Yeah.
And now with King 7 suited, I hope Charwell doesn't get involved with his Jack 9. And Snakey with the semi-pretty Queen 10. Charwell's having to think about this.
Yeah.
Let's go. Might even see a little raise here with this King 7 suited. It's quite legitimate. Just makes up. They both miss completely. Who's the strongest? Who's first to bet? The ace is quite frightening. Stops them betting. Still sitting with the King 7. This is a who's to bet pot.
Should maybe just put in a little bet now.
He puts a bet in here, he should get it through, and he
Yeah.
does. Jolly sight easier when you can see what the opponent's got, though.
Yes. Is that a good bit of advice for new players when it looks like the pot's been checked down right to the end? Maybe just try putting in a little bet.
Have a little punt.
If you get a response, then you can always get away from it and put it down,
Yep.
and you know you've not lost too much. But
No
at
need
least
to put too much in, but have a go at it, and sometimes first to speak takes the pot
Yeah.
home. A lot of the very successful players are successful because they don't like what I call orphaned pots, pots that nobody wants. So they make a play for
all
them.
right.
They see nobody's been betting, nobody's bet the flop, is they're in late position, nobody's bet the turn, let's have a go at it.
Yeah.
Somebody's slow playing something, you get a call, but here we see a classic matchup. Pocket sixes for Snakey, ace king for, I can't read that I'm afraid.
Sekhmet, I think.
Yes. Well, Sekhmet has missed so far. Oh, hits on the end. Won't let go of this now for any money. That's for sure. And Snakey's been snaky though. This is, you know, what goes round comes round. Snakey got lucky with the ace jack against jacks. And then he goes in with the best hand, 6 against ace king and gets river with the king. So, what goes round comes round. But Snakey needs to do something now with blinds at this level. And finds pocket sevens, raises it up. Going to get a call, I think, by Mr. Perfect with pocket sixes, who is tantalisingly close but miles behind. Yep, gets looked up.
Pushed in.
And this is going to be a simple 7 versus 6. Mr. Perfect will need a 6. Nothing else will do.
No, doesn't come.
And Snakey is back in the game with well into over 3,000 now.
And we lose Mr. Perfect.
I'm afraid. So that's 3 gone, 5 to go. and there was no way out on the end. That was always going to play out that way, 7s against 6s. At this stage, with those stacks, nothing you can do. Charwell playing his King 10 very strong, getting rid of a nice hand behind him. He's not a guy that you want sat to your right, that's for sure. Snakey with little suited rags. Lyndsay in seat 4 with 820 chips with blinds at 163.20. May well see this as the moment, and indeed does. Runs into King 7, needs to hit.
Hits the queen.
And hits the queen. But heart out, hits twice in fact. Although it was a heart out for Snakey, but Snakey missed it. So right back in the game with 22.80, and poor Snakey has been, we ought to call him laddery really, he's been snaky and laddery tonight.
Yes, he has been a bit up and down.
He's been down to the felt, back up again, but keeps playing, doesn't slow down.
Undulating.
Undulating, that's the word, is it? Yo-yoing. That's like a hilly thing, is it?
Yeah.
Undulating.
Bumpy. It's been a bumpy ride for Snakey, but he's still there. Still got a chance. And he's back up over 3,000 again.
Yeah, it doesn't take him long, does it? So I'm so lucky, he's not been so lucky, and with blinds at 163.20, meaning a full raise is going to make him pot committed. He has to find his hand soon, he has to find the moment to move, and with Charwell to the right, that's not going to come easy. This is going to be it. Whatever happens, I'm so lucky we'll move in here, and as it happens, we'll take the blinds. Isn't it nice when it works out as you expect?
Yes.
For the first time. First time that's happened this evening, I think. But he needs to do it again soon. He might even do it with 9-10 of spades if there's no action. But the Lyndsay is going to move with ace-jack for sure. How much is it?
I think that's 960.
960.
Although it's hard to make out because it's right. I think it was 960.
We have a different screen to you guys at home, so sometimes the graphics are a little bit difficult for people with less than perfect eyesight, shall we say. Which is me.
We do our best.
Charwell playing the ace-jack very strong. Doesn't give them a chance to breathe, you see, before they can mess about. He gets his chips in.
Yeah, he's got the power to do that though.
Yep. So lucky he's not going to mess about here.
But he's playing well because he's built a big stack and he's using it wisely when he has got a hand. He's playing it very strong.
Faultless, in my opinion.
Don't forget, guys, if you've got any questions that you'd like to send in to TK, you can get in touch with us. 84222 is our text number, 84222. Put the word poker at the start of your message, or you can send an email, and the address is poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. There it is on your screen.
Okay, so we're back with the $20 sit and go, which is coming to an almost inevitable conclusion. And we see the Lyndsay with a very, very small pair here, and decides to bet the bank. Why not? And he's going to take this down. That's the way to play a pocket pair, a small pocket pair, at this stage of a tournament with the blinds like that. It just is.
Apparently Snakey is a lady.
Well, Snakey is a ladder lady tonight, because Snakey has been up and down like an up and down thing. I hope I haven't offended her. How do you know she's a lady? Anyway?
I've just been checking through a couple of the emails, and somebody's told me on one of the emails.
Well, it's good to see that whether you're a lady or a man, if you can play the game, it makes no difference. And Snakey is very, very busy. If you did but know, he is a mile ahead in this hand, or she is a mile ahead in this hand. But it's pretty tough to call, to be honest. And it's a correct pass. The Lyndsay has got himself back to 4,000. Blinds are now 326.40. Snakey has no time. May just move here. Will get looked up if he does, probably. But he might just get it through. Let's it go. Let's it go. This has to find a hand in the next...
That'll be it, do you think? The 5s?
Yeah, the next 3 or 4 hands, and he's going to move now for sure. Absolute certain. And...
no. Goodness me.
Had Charwell put a raise in there? Well, that really was the situation to go for, but could do it here. Nope.
Hoping for something a bit better?
Well, sometimes you just have to chuck it in with some sort of mixed, just hoping that you got live cards.
Yeah.
If you've got live cards, you're not that much of a dog. Did Snakey pass instantly
I
there?
didn't
Because
see
I didn't even see a card
what he
arrive.
got there, no, what she got there, sorry. I didn't see any cards there, actually.
Well, got cards this time. Not awfully nice ones. And the Lacer has got in first with the ace-9.
Maybe she just folded extremely quickly and I missed
And
it.
so Lucky's all in with the
Ooh,
king-10
look at that.
and hits a monster. There's no way up for the Lacer here. So Abso Lucky doubles up very, very nicely. And Snakey won't like that because increases the pressure. Now posts a blind.
That's it now, surely has
It's a
to.
pretty hand, but it's going to be in
He's
trouble.
now walked into more hands, whereas when he had
Yep.
the 5s...
Well, not to know that. I mean, there was clearly a race from Charwell, and you know, with pocket 5s, knows that he's racing. I think with hindsight, having seen the hands, it might have been wise to move with it, but Snakey can't see the other player's hands, so. And lets that one go. Goodness
yeah.
me, shows great patience here. Great patience, but he can't let this go.
I think it's the
Jack
respect
9.
to Charwell that's doing it as well,
Yep.
because it's whenever Charwell's making a raise...
Get it in, Snakey. Jack 9 suited. Come on.
No.
No. Well, he would have got looked up, and he would have trebled up, or she would have trebled up, as
There's
things
the
as
7.
things stand. Yep. I'm sure she wants to hear me say that she would have trebled up, but that was the hand with Jack 9 in that position. The thing is, she's going to get looked up by both blinds now, almost without a doubt, unless I have a very bad hand. This could be interesting. Ace, Queen and Queen 10. Charwell doesn't trap. Charwell doesn't... oh dear. So Lucky's called the raise with Queen 10 and hit 2 pair. But there's an extra out for Charwell here, but misses. Charwell's been quite badly wounded there.
Seriously dented
Rather
his,
unlucky. He got in first with his ace queen, quite rightly. He got called quite rightly by Queen 10 and badly outdrawn. I wonder if Queen 10 can return the favour. He will move here for sure. Yep. Nobody can respond to that, I don't believe. And he's on the run again, as always.
Snakey now.
These guys don't hang around, do they? Well, Snakey has to put the chips in
got no
here,
choice now, she has.
and will get called. And he's behind. But I wonder if Snakey is disconnected, because Snakey's passed again. I fancy Snakey.
I
fancy we've been unfair on Snakey. I
actually.
fancy she was disconnected. We don't have a disconnected graphic, I'm afraid. And there were so many hands passed there that a player of Snakey's ability would have played.
Her to move in with,
we watch her play a lot. She knows what she's doing. So I'm pretty sure she's disconnected. So if we was unduly harsh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, get in touch and let us know, Snakey, what happened there. We'd like to hear from you if you send us an email.
Yep. Well, Snakey has departed, perhaps to the email. Perhaps an angry email to me for suggesting that she should have moved before. But it looks like she was disconnected. 4 players left. So Lucky, who's brought up the rear throughout, is now chip leader. And the Lacer moves first here. Suited ace. Will get looked up by the pocket 7s, I'm sure. Yep. This is going to be a race and doesn't have many outs. Just the 3 aces. That's all. Oh dear. That makes no difference.
Needs an ace.
The Lacer is wounded by brave play by Sekamet 1, who doubles up with pocket 7, so you don't need huge hands to double. Tikay is all in now,
Yeah.
and Charwell finds this moment to find aces. And picks up a caller in Sekhmet.
Oh, a heart could. Oh no, it wouldn't because
No, heart
Charwell.
would be no good.
Charwell's still.
There's no outs for Sekhmet at all in this hand. A little bit of that for Tikay, but not enough, I'm afraid. And we see the departure of Tikay. 3 players left. Charwell, Am So Lucky and Sekhmet. Sekhmet has managed to get up to 7,000 plus. Still fancy Charwell to win this. Picks up the jacks. Not likely to get looked up here. And if he is looked up, he won't let go.
Yeah, he's crawling his way back
so
up.
It passes.
Aces for Am So
Oh, no,
Lucky
don't be making a play at this one, Charwell. He does not. And we have 2 unpassable hands here. At this stage of this tournament, both players have to put their chips in. Aces against 9s. Am So Lucky will double up unless Sekhmet catches a 9. Nobody will get knocked out unless a 9 comes. And so the lead is changing now. The lead has gone back to Am So Lucky. Sekhmet had a brief period in the sun. Charwell's had it most of the competition. He's now in 2nd place. With blinds at 640, 1280 and 20,000 chips in play. This won't take very long. The average chips are 7,000, I believe. Well, there's 8 players, isn't there? So 16,000 chips in play. So the average chips are 5,300 and big blind is 1280. So it's 4 big blinds roughly.
Yeah.
So this won't take
It's
long.
not going to last long now.
No, Charwell's got a little bit of this, but has got involved and is going to suffer because Sekhmet's got the Jack King, wasn't going to let go. Charwell, who I tipped to win this, now needs to get extremely lucky. All in. And hits.
It's a 6.
And hits. No king or
Oh,
10. He
2
hit
pair.
twice. He can't lose this hand, and he's back in the game now with 3,200. You see, you move with any sort of rubbish
You never
if they're
know.
live, and you can be back in the game. Saved my bacon there because I did suggest he was going to win this. He'll win this hand because he'll raise and not get any action. As Sekhmet decides that, no, that's absolutely right.
Happy
Blinds
with
are a
the blinds
massive
there, they're
640,
huge, aren't they?
1280. And this suits Charwell's game, who moves a lot. Has the best hand here. Moves with it. I doubt if we're going to get looked up. Now takes
Back
his
in the
rightful
lead.
place as chip leader. Sekhmet, who actually got a lot of chips with 7s earlier on, if I'm not mistaken, has got them again. He hasn't got much opposition. King 9 of hearts, 3-handed is a big hand. Perfect flop for pocket 7s. Well, not quite perfect, but as good as it gets,
Yeah.
really. Short of flopping a 7.
It's got a full
Full
house,
house
now.
now. Only a 9 or a king. Oh!
Oh,
Well, that is terrible.
that was
unlucky.
very
That
unfortunate
is so
for Sekhmet.
unlucky.
Very unfortunate.
Am So Lucky is so lucky. But then we all get these breaks, and good luck to him. But pocket 7 winning all the way, spiked the 9 on the end, took it. So it's Charwell and Am So Lucky. Charwell has got a little bit of this. Doesn't know it's winning though. Knowing him might just know he's winning. And yes, moves in with the bottom pair. Very strong play. Love it. Dominating now. But dominated in this hand, and I fancy will lose. If he calls this raise, which he has. Oh, he's picked up a straight draw now. A 7 would give him the straight. Or an 8. No, misses. There was no way out of that, I don't think. I'm sorry I'm laughing now. I just had a quick glimpse at an email from a gentleman on Ironside, which was extremely rude, and I hope you're not going to read it out.
I'm going to read them all out. We like you to try and read all the emails out.
So, Charwell with the pocket kings. I'm so lucky with Jack 9. Set of kings now. There's no way out of this for I'm so lucky. And we are heads up, which is an area in which, as some emails may suggest later on, I perhaps need a little bit of help. I wouldn't like to play Charwell heads up, that's for sure.
No, he's very aggressive.
Yep. As we'll discuss later on, I managed to get 3 heads up in 3 live competitions over the weekend in 4 nights, and lost them all.
But still got in the money.
Yeah. Okay, Charwell steamroller rolls on. Ace 4 is plenty in heads up. It's a big hand. Doesn't want to let his opponent see anything, so puts a big bet in. Even with Ace 4 and knowing he's winning, if you let someone see a flop chip, they can hit. So that's the right way to play, and he's grinding his way to what seems to me an inevitable victory. That'll buck him. Let's go this time against King 6, quite rightly.
Doesn't fancy playing with the 5-4, don't blame him. This could be it.
This is going to be all in, I fancy. Pocket 8s for Charwell, an ace, and picks up a heart draw as well, Charwell. An ace is needed by Am So Lucky, and not an ace of hearts. Not good enough.
There we go.
Am So Lucky plays very well and gets second, and the very, very worthy winner, in my opinion, Charwell, who dominated it from the very start, extremely aggressive, got a very, very good game. I enjoyed that.
You picked him out as well, didn't you?
Well, it wasn't easy to pick out. He I would say, different class to that table. Snaky could have won it, given a bit more luck, and maybe others as well. But it just seemed to me that Charwell is a guy playing out of his level there.
Yeah.
If that's a $20 sit and go, I fancy he plays much bigger sit and goes, and was just doing a little fishing. Different class to that table. Excellent play. Didn't rely on luck. Just kept raising and raising and raising. That's the way it's done.
So well done on that victory. Okay, I'm going to get a couple of emails now. Talking of heads up, Ironside says, "Dear Lyndsay, it's a heads up question, so that rules out TK being the expert." Okay. He obviously knows you too well.
He's a friend of mine, allegedly.
Yeah, Ironside says, "You're playing heads up and the blinds are 1530. You've got 600 chips and your opponent has 2,400. You have just doubled them up when your top set got runner flush the previous hand. The opponent goes all in pre-flop, 3 hands, and looks like he's going to do it every hand from now on in. What hands would you play with?" Now, is that directed at me then?
Well, if the guy's going to go all in every hand, and you're out chipped, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you just have to find the one they fancy.
Yeah.
You're going to get blinded away. I mean, you've got plenty of chips, 640 chips at 1530. You can sit there forever. But if you're saying, Iron, that this guy is going to move in every single hand, well, just you need to pick your spot and get lucky. Because you're not playing poker, you're playing bingo, you're playing let's get lucky. This guy will do it every hand because he can kill you any hand. So you just need to find a hand that you feel is good enough, lucky enough. Bear in mind, he can't have a hand every time. So try and get yourself either a decent pair or life cards. What else can you do? If the guy moves in every hand, you'll get doubled up if you win. If you don't, you'll get busted.
I agree entirely.
But asking me about heads up, as you suggest, is probably not a wise thing. I'm not doing too well there. He once beat me 3-0 at heads up. Or was it
I'm
2-0?
sure your luck will change. Buffy Be Good, John has sent an email in and it's very long, but Buffy says, "It's a bit wordy, but I've sent it early, so please read it out." So I'm going to read it out very quickly. Buffy says, "A quick congratulations to the PNL regulars for their performances in the Prima MTTs last night. It's almost as if watching PNL is improving our play. Firstly, Geordie won the $5 freeze out, which, on the back of making the money in the rounders on Friday, has made made for a very profitable last few days. He's one to watch. Jack came second in the $25 freeze out, then Snakey won the PNL MTT before I let the side down. Sorry guys, finishing second in the 19k guaranteed for my biggest pickup so far, nearly $2,800. Well done. Buffy says, what I really wanted to say is a big thank you for all your support, the support that I've received from the regulars when the tourney got to the later stages. I think the non-PNL players in the Prima MTTs are a bit overwhelmed when word gets around the TV tables that a PNL regular is doing well and the mob descends on the table in question. I honestly think it boosted my table image when on the final table, well past midnight, I had loads of support from you guys and girls. Gilberto got it right when one of the players commented on my fan club and he said, no, it was a mutual appreciation society, or words to that effect. He said, it's certainly not the former, and I think the latter is close. But to me, it really just feels like there are loads of mates all pulling for me when it comes down to the wire, and I hope the rest of you feel the same when we're all cheering you on. I feel that I play better knowing that I'm being watched. The phone call to a friend to explain your Tony exit example that you guys use is happening there and then. And so I feel pressure not to try anything too clever. That's what we say. If you go out in a tournament, don't be embarrassed. You want to go out of a tournament and you don't want to be embarrassed to phone your friend and tell them how you went out of the tournament. You don't want to be ashamed. Buffy says, anyway, big thanks to all of you. Likey, Beth, Gilberto Stantas, all the rest, and Balrog, who always seems to bring me good luck. So there you go. That's a very nice email.
That is a nice email.
About the community of Poker Night Live.
Yeah, well, they do it on Poker Night Live, but they do it on Blonde as well. On Blonde, they have a thing called the PRO, the Professional Railbirds Organisation. And
like cheerleaders.
Yeah, they do it on PNL Forum, and they do it on the Blonde Forum.
But it's right, it does make a difference.
When somebody makes a final, they just say, I'm on the so-and-so final, such and such table, and all the mates go along and rail them and give them plenty of ARs and A-ups.
It's like at a football game when the crowd get into it, it's like having a 12th man.
I wasn't aware of this ever happening. I'm sure it did, but pre-Blonde I wasn't aware of it ever happening. But if I ever make the late stages of a big tournament or a final table or any members of the forum, all of a sudden they all turn up, and it's a lovely feeling to know your mates are watching you.
Yeah.
It really does help. It's like a following wind.
Yes.
So that was nice, and well done on picking up 2,800. That is a tidy draw, and I agree with you about the comments on Balrog, who's I found is a very supportive member.
And well done.
Nice draw that, 2,800.
Definitely, and thanks for sending the email in. I hope you're happy that we read it out, even though it was a long one, but I thought it was worth reading out. Jerry has sent an email in, TK. Jerry in County Armagh, and Jerry says, Tony, my bankroll doesn't allow me to play the bigger price tourneys online. However, I feel that I am a fairly decent player, but find myself outdrawn by fish who always seem to put their chips in the middle with nothing more than a draw. I am becoming increasingly frustrated by playing $10 single tables and MTTs. I find that when I come up against proper poker players at this level, I'm comfortable and find myself winning. I've read many things online, and experts such as Dave Colclough say you should never move up levels until you have conquered the level that you're in. What level should I look at playing to avoid dodgy players, and is it best to play freeze outs or rebuys to get a proper game of poker?
Nice question. Very, very simply, you find dodgy players at every level. At every level. I played in a £500 tournament the weekend, and a man called a huge raise and a call in the second place. A man called with ace-3. Now imagine you've got a pair of kings or a pair of queens, and you know some guy's called with ace-3 and hits his ace. That's pretty painful. You find bad players at every level. You just do, and it's something you have to live with, I'm afraid. But bad calls are good calls. When you've got kings or queens or jacks and someone calls you with ace-3, you are a huge favourite. Sometimes they're going to be, don't worry about it. You have the best hand. Get the best hand going in, you will win. The other thing is freeze-outs or rebuys. I very, very strongly recommend freeze-outs. Play as many freeze-outs as you can. That is proper poker. You will be better.
There you go. I hope that's helped you out, Jerry. Thank you very much for your email, and good luck with it. I hope that's helped you. If you want to get in touch with us, 84222 is the text, or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. We've got to take a short break now, but we'll be back very soon. We've got Beat the Presenter, also the MTT, to have a look at a cash game as well, because we've not looked at one of those. So stick around, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Hello, welcome back to Poker Night Live. It's Lyndsay and Tikay with you till 2 o'clock. I've already started the Beat the Presenter tournament, so I'm going to be playing in this and leave you in the capable hands of Tikay. I think you're going to watch your cash game, aren't you, Tikay?
Yeah, we're going to see some more cash and looking through a few of the tables. And we're going to begin very shortly while Lyndsay gets on demolishing that table.
Well, we hope so.
In a Beat the Presenter.
We'll watch this back after midnight.
I'm going to get on with some cash action. 25 cents, 50 cents. We have Morrison 24, Pool 8 Ball, Kamishi, Howley, Joey the Lips. That's an interesting name, Joey the Lips. I like that. Angel 101. I like that as well. That's the name of my cat. Johan Horne, who we've seen time and time again dominating these cash tables, and Deadman 370. The money is sitting with Johan and Deadman. Remember, the most you can sit down in these things is $50, and you can't top up to more than 50. So Nessie's had a lot of pull-ups. He's doing very well, as he usually does. And straight away into the action here with a very nice hand, Ace-Queen suited. And he'll get some action from Kamishi with pretty hand, Queen 9 suited. Just to prove me wrong, Kamishi passes. Johan's going to raise this up. And be unlucky to find any action here, or lucky to find any, should I say. Another few bob in the kitty, $2.75 to add to the ever-growing pile. When you play these cash games, you know, there's a tendency for some people to see every flop, and I don't like that. I like to play proper poker, and so, you know, you don't need to have a hand, but you could take people on heads up or three-handed and, you know, try and play real poker. But when there's an automatic raise and everybody calls, it all gets a bit silly. But these are playing this nicely. And Morrison has a little pair. Paul 8 Ball has King 8 and a King flush draw. Kamishi's caught the 7. Angel 101 has hit nothing. So Kamishi's winning this at present. Well, now there's a card. Morrison has actually caught a straight, a hidden straight as well. Hard to put him on the hand. There is a flush out, but I doubt if to let it go. Kamishi bets out. Morrison's going to look him up for sure and take the pot. That's how to get paid with fives. Catch a hidden straight. And decent pot. It's up to $151 now. Quite a bit of money on this table. Joey the Lips has called with a raggy ace. I have to say I don't like this play. I'm not saying it's a wrong play. It's a play I can't make because you don't really know where you are. Particularly when ace falls. Kamishi's in there with Kamishi's in there with a small ace, and Howley bets out with second pair. I don't quite know what Joey the Lips is calling with. Basically, he's calling with ace high, and the thing is, Howley may not be able to bet again now because, well, it doesn't stop him betting. Joey the Lips can't possibly call here. Good play. I really don't like to see people calling with rag aces. This should be an automatic win for Kamishi. Kamishi will raise it up on the button with the perfect button hand because it looks like you're still in pocket queens. And gets involved with Joey the Lips, who's got 3-2 and in fact picks up a gut shot straight draw. 5 would give him an unlikely win, but the queens hold up as they should. No big hands here. In this situation, in a cash game, on the button with King Queen of Hearts, it's an auto raise. Have to raise here. Might take the blinds, might get some action, but there aren't too many hands you're in a lot of trouble against. Paul 8 Ball calls with the Jack 10. Nice hand to call with. It's only cost a blind, so it doesn't matter. There ought to be a raise from Howley here, and there is. Joey likes his small aces, calls with ace-6. And just because I say it's bad to play with small aces, catches top pair, the 6. And we'll bet out here. And Howley's called. Howley, I think, should have raised or passed. Howley is called. He's still drawing to the 2 overs. Nothing else. Joe the Lips thinks that he's 6 is still winning. The 10 has changed nothing. He'll be right there. Oh, and Howley catches the queen on the end. Now, can he get paid? A decent pot, this, 33 bucks. I think he get all of Joe the Lips' money here. 72 in the pot, 17 to call. Has to call. Has to call. Cannot pass. And just to make a fool of me, bosses. Well, really, I haven't put that much in on a draw. Called with ace-6, caught the top pair, put a lot of chips in, but didn't call 17 bucks into a 72 buck pot. And you'd say it was right because it was losing, but it's not really right. I don't believe. So Joey's down to 16 bucks, and he's going to need a pull-up soon. Angel 01 has none of this but a rag ace, and we have Johan Harem a long way in front with his jack 4. But if anybody gets busy with him, he'll let go because he doesn't like his kicker very much. And there we go. The money machine takes it. Well, we shall see some action here because Howley has pocket jacks. I'm hoping that Kamishi breaks the trend and lets go of his raggy ace. I really do. That's good. Howley will raise it up with the jacks. And might get looked up by Angel 01 on the button, but will certainly get looked up by Johan Harem in the small blind with a very pretty jack queen suited. So what sort of raise we're going to see from Howley? There it is, 2 bucks. Gets called by Angel as expected, and I know that Johan will call. And Deadman also has some sort of ace, but it's a losing ace. And Howley's entitled to think this is a good flop for jacks. Only 1 over card, but it's not, because Johan Harem has Queen Jack. And he's going to raise or call for sure. I think he will raise here to see where he is. Called. Jack's still behind. Entitled to think it's winning. It's not. I don't see any way how they could take this pot. Very unfortunate, really. There's just always gone all in. I'm sure Johan will look him up. Oh. Well, the best hand won, that's all we can say. The best hand going in won. Quite surprised to see Johan let that go. Maybe plays for value, but he called to catch the flop, caught it, and got bullied off. Quite surprised about that. Having said that, guy's got plenty of money in front of him, so he's doing something right. Joe the Lips has got second pair and bottom pair. Doesn't want to overbet this, although there's a flush draw out. Nobody's got any of it. He doesn't know that, of course. But with the money he's got in front of him, he needs to gamble now. Only a 10 will get Angel out of this. 10 doesn't come. Joe the Lips is going to put all his money in a fancy. Jack's trying to induce a bluff from Angel behind, which will get called if Angel tries it. Angel goes for it. Joey had induced the bluff. Nice play, and just called because he didn't have the nuts. There was a flush out. Nice play. Nothing tremendously excited out in this hand. Joe comes in with the suited rags. If you know you're going to be last to to speak. In other words, you've got a position, no harm in coming in. But don't be looking to win with 10-5. Looking to be win by playing poker, by taking people off hands. He has none of this. Paul 8-ball actually has a gut shot straight draw, but Joey should bet here and can take the pot if he bets. And didn't. Gave the initiative to Paul 8-ball, who promptly bet himself. And an opportunity missed, I felt. You don't be looking to hit when your head's up and you're in late position in a cash game. You don't have to be hitting your flop. What you have to be doing is saying, can I get this guy off his hand? Has he got a hand? And you find that out by betting. Called to see a flop. Didn't bet. It was scary, to be fair. Now Morrison's hit an ace. And Joey has got a gut shot straight, but is not going to get too involved with it. Morrison's got busy all of a sudden now, finds pocket nines. With blinds at 25.50, let's see what he raises here. Should be about $2 really. And at $2 I would expect Paul 8-ball just to take a look. 250 in fact, slight over raise, nothing wrong with that. I doubt he's going to get action from Howley, and doesn't. And that's the way to win with nines. I haven't seen a flop. Took the money. So there's a selection of raggy aces here, both suited. So I have a weakness for suited aces. I like to take flops with suited aces, and they've cost me more money on the poker table than you can ever imagine. When you hit big, but you don't hit very often. The difference between suited cards and unsuited cards is incredibly small. All this "it was suited" rubbish is just that, it's rubbish and nonsense. So the only one that's caught any of this is the hand that went in third place, Queen 4, who's caught bottom pair but doesn't know it's winning. Angel has a punt at it, a pro bet, and it works. Perfectly played. Well, big hand out here for Paul 8-ball. Not going to see any action before it gets there. Should be raising about, making it about $2. Is it 3 in fact, which is quite a big raise really. Oh, it works and it doesn't work. He gets called by the ace queen, which was a mile behind and is now a mile in front. It's not a fair game sometimes. When you've gone in with queens, somebody calls you with ace queen and leaves them 3 outs essentially, and flops one straight away. So we'll just see this hand played to conclusion, and then we're going to move on. We'll have something exciting stuff here. Howley does take it up with the ace queen, and so we'll go back to the cash table a little later on. In the meantime, we have our MTT in the early stages. Not long begun. Blinds are at the first level at 25.50. All sorts of details for you in a second. Don't forget they're playing for a third prize of the Purple Lounge t-shirt and music CD and $100. Second prize doesn't get a t-shirt or a CD, but does get $300, and the winner gets a seat at a tournament in Oslo in August, the FHM Poker Tour, accommodation, flight, and you get dealt by the FHM girls. So quite a prize tonight.
Certainly ones the boys are going to love.
You get on with your game. And we see Seven Oaks there get a nice straight against trips. Wow, going to get paid nicely here. The pot is 1,450. The trips thinks he's winning. Can't see the trips passing this. Difficult pass. The straight is there, invisible. Good pass. Good pass. We will get for you very shortly how many runners there were and how many are left, so that we can work out what the average chips are and how things are going. And as I speak, I find that we began with 148 players in this MTT on 19 tables. There are 18 tables left. The average stack is 3,194. They must have begun with 3,000 chips then. And the chip leader is Black Rat with a massive 10,875, which is triple average. And Billy No Chips is got 105. So a bit of a miracle needed for somebody there. So we've got 139 players left. Average chips are 3,194. Long way to go, but blinds at 25.50. Time for plenty of play. And so we see 7 Oaks with the Ace King. And well, got in with the best hand, but he's walked into Coach Rich, who's got a straight draw. Open-ended, 7 or a queen would be good enough. Misses on the turn, but he's betting this all the way. Misses on the end. Will he bet again? Interestingly, 7 Oaks has missed, but takes the hand. Jugglebug down there in seat 6 has got a healthy 5,600 chips. We have two one-handed blinds, 8-10. I can understand that. Just pick the gut shot up. Don't know what Coach Ridge is doing in there, I'm sure. Blinds have gone to 5,100. So at this stage we're looking for a standard raise of around about 300, 350. Bear in mind, when you want to raise, you're doing several things. You're asking questions, you're pot building, and you're trying to get rid of people. It's a combination of all those things. If you take every pot pre-flop, then you'll never get beat, but sometimes you want to get some action. Quite tight on the button. Proves just that and passes. Seat 2's come in with a very pretty Jack 9 suited, but missed everything. 7 Oaks is in with Queen 10 and has a straight draw. Nothing else. And 7 Oaks wins it quite comfortably. Lyndsay is glowering at her computer screen. I don't quite know what that means.
I'm focusing desperately.
You're what in?
I'm playing at a level way above my normal level.
I'm sure you're doing okay. You're still there. So, on a flop of Queen 7-2, 2 spades, the perfect flop for Lucy Bell with Ace Queen. Coach Richard's got bottom pair. Jugglebug has got nothing, but bets 300. Gets re-raised by Lucy Bell. And if he knows what's good for him, Jugglebug will get out of the way here. Oh dear, calls. I don't know what we're calling with here. Well, we're calling to hit an ace which would lose or a 10 that would lose, but I just don't see the point of calling there. Really to hit one of the overs and might be losing. Well, I hope nobody tries to catch a 7 here, because there was 3 of them dealt. And Coach Rich in a small blind, Ace-7 of diamonds. Catches the ace. Oh, to bet out here. Nothing to fear. If the big blind has a better hand, he'll find out. But you don't find out unless you bet. And if you don't bet, someone might steal it from you. So that was all played properly. Properly the way I see it, that is. There's Coach Rich with the 8 Queen now. And depending on what he raises, really Don Chaos wants to be letting go. Lucy Bell has a small pair and he's winning. But difficult to play, especially out of position, and decides to wait for a better spot, and very wise too. So we're rumbling on. Blinds are 5,100. Jogglebug's got a nice hand there, King Jack suited, and makes a 1 with 1 raise. By 1 with 1, I mean the blinds are 100, he makes it 200, so that's 1 with 1. A 1 with 1 raise can mean all sorts of things. It can indicate great strength, it can indicate weakness, it can indicate pot building. It's good rice to put in because people don't quite know where they stand with it. But sometimes you take the pot, which is what he did. We have 2 PPs here, 2 pocket pairs. In sheet 2 we have a little pair of 4s. Quite tight will pass 10-6. No, it doesn't pass 10-6 because they're all limped in, I think. Yes. Only the small blind passed. 7 Oaks with a pair of 8s. Is probably done with this. And Lucy Bell, who's having quite a run up there in the corner, has hit the ace. Should take this down. Well, 7 Oaks is called because he doesn't believe Lucy Bell. I think it's time to let go, and does. I hadn't noticed in C3 bet the lot. Perhaps a late arrival. So Queen Jack for Lucy Bell. Just limps. We'll get some sort of action from 7 Oaks, 1, 2, 3. The suited Ace Jack. It's a raise. Lucy Bell's in very bad shape against it. But what a flop. The Ace Jack is dominating the Queen Jack, but the Queen Jack catches 2 pairs. And now a straight draw comes as well, in fact. A king will be necessary for 7 Oaks here. Misses the king. If he doesn't believe that Lucy Bell's got a queen, it's going to be expensive. What a nice pot that was for Lucy Bell. Queen Jack against Ace Jack. Flops 2 pairs. That's the vagaries of poker, I'm afraid. Seven Oaks with the 9-10. What a pretty flop that is. 4, 5, 6, all hearts. Only one player in the hand has hearts. Nobody has any of the flop. Jogglebug has a gut shot straight draw. Lucy Bell has a king suited in hearts. And that's a great card. That's a key card. And it's good enough to justify the bet, which is sufficient. Everybody's got bus tickets here, so it's a battle of the blinds. 6-9 against 3-10. Quite wisely, Jogglebug doesn't get involved. I don't believe in simply making up small blinds just for the sake of it. Let them go sometimes. If you let them go 3 rounds running and then call or raise, you get a lot more respect. If you're going to call and somebody's going to raise, you're going to pass, what's the point? So again, we see a dominated hand coming out best. We've got Jack Deuce against Jack 8, and the Jack Deuce wins it because it has hits the flop. We've got 2 pairs here, quite tight. Let's go of 6s, which I find a very odd play. Maybe quite tight is sitting out. We did suggest before we don't have a graphic for sitting out, and I'm surprised that quite tight had no interest at all in that pair of 6s, but as it happens I was losing by a long way to queens.
Balrog's in my chat box, Tikay, and he says, just for your information, apparently there's lots sitting outs in the MTT.
Well, thank you very much, Balrog.
Explain?
That does help. It is a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
In that we, as I've said a couple of times, we don't have a graphic for someone sitting out. So I may have been slightly unfair to a young lady called Snakey earlier this evening, who was passing some very strange hands in a very odd situation. It transpires almost certainly that was sitting out all the time. Now on this occasion quite tight hasn't folded because quite tight is in the blinds. Well, bet the lot must either be sitting out or not knowing that quite tight was sitting out, because a raise there would have taken the pot. So it lost the pot to something that's sitting out, but maybe okay. So we see Ace Jack against Pocket 8s. Pocket 8s has walked into an overcard. Ace Jack picks up a set of aces. And now we see 7 Oaks for the Ace 9. Hedge, let's go. Two suited hands here. 1 in hearts, 1 in spades. Big raise from the Queen 3, wow. And flops top pair. 7 Oaks has got no way of defending. Surely let's go. Yes. That's good poker. Pair of 10 for Jugglebug in a small blind. Passed all the way around. Will raise up. Now, because Coach Richard is so short a chip with blinds at 75, 150, he will be looking to find a value call. He's now trying to decide if this should be it. He wants live cards. He doesn't actually have live cards, to be fair, unless he hits 2 of them, because he's against 10s. Some people say he does have live cards, but normally you're saying I'm not against a pair. So Hedge with a Queen 9. I think Hedge is a girl. Hedge is playing a very strange game here.
Pretty shocking, I would have said.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Look, I think, if I'm, I wouldn't want to be rude to him, but I think Hedge is probably playing his or her first game, and showing some weakness at present. So Coach is with the Ace of Hearts with 3 hearts showing. Lucy Bell with a made flush already. Oddly enough, also catches best part of a straight, but the flush is good enough. Coach Rich is a bit stuck here. Coach Rich, unfortunately, has departed this world. The right hand to do it with, wrong time. So Jugglebug with the King 9 suited, let's go. Lucy Bell with 10 Jack on the button. A hand I'd be wanting to raise with blinds at 100, 200, and no action. Stick a raise in. Chances are we spotted that Hedge has generally been playing pretty weak, but somehow took that one down. So 4-8 against Bet the Lot. Wonderful play by Hedge, although I have a suspicion that the player in the big blind was disconnected. So, but all is forgiven because Hedge has found the aces, and in this position, if he or she raises the right amount, just to get one caller would be nice. 600. Well, that's just beneath a pot size raise, and gets a caller and flops a full house. 7 Oaks bluffs at it, just the wrong time to bluff, and is drawing dead. How lucky is Hedge? Wow, that was so fortunate. When you bluff into the nuts, it's Merry Christmas time.
See, a lot of these guys are feeling the pressure because the thought of the FHM girls was just piling the pressure on.
Yes, it could be. You're still clumping away in your beat the presenter, I see.
Still going.
Still going.
Yeah.
So Hedge getting very brave now. Queen 10 of clubs. What a nice flop for Queen 10, unless you know what Quite Tight is sitting with. Quite Tight now has the absolute nuts. But we'll see if Quite Tight is sitting out or not shortly, because Hedge is entitled to think he's winning this. He bets. Quite Tight nuts. Has to call or raise. Just calls. Now moves in. Hedge has to call here. Unfortunate, but when you see 2 flushes, I have a general rule, which is if I catch a flush, even if it's not the nut flush or the second nut flush, but generally speaking, at this stage of a tournament, you very rarely see more than 1 flush, one made flush. So if you hit your flush and it's not the nuts, I get my money in, and if someone's got a bigger one, well, that's just one of those things. Quite tight with the ace king. Should be a raise here. Unlikely to get much in the way of resistance. Neomart in the small blind is all in anyway for a massive, not very much. Needs the 9 or a deuce, misses and departs, so we lose another one. With blinds at 100, 200, the field is thinning fast. Quite like ace king again. The ace king king. Well, if Hedge gets busy with his ace 5, it could be interesting. Taken without a fight by quite tight with the ace king. Hedge is a card rack. Picks up 10s this time, but will not get this one through without some resistance. Well, interestingly, the ace king passes, and the ace king, I'm sorry, beat the lot is disconnected. So that didn't help. So a nice pot there for the 10s. 4 bet the lot in the small blind as ace king against 7, 8 in the big blind, but he's sitting out or disconnected as you wish. So he's being blinded away, I'm afraid. Moving on a fair rate in this, blinds have now gone 150, 300. We had 148 runners, so there were 44,000 chips in play, and our friend Hedge has got the aces again, but unless a club comes, he's in serious trouble because Jugglebug had flopped a set of 5s. Pretty unlucky that. So the chips in play in this MTT are 44,420, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have seen quite a few departures. We'll update you on those shortly. Carry on with this table. I'm not sure that Lyndsay should be paid tonight because she's spent a lot of time not helping me.
I'll be back soon. Well, I don't know if I want to be back really soon though, because that could be a bad thing.
Hedge with the Queen 5 takes it against the sitting out person. What a lovely seat to be in when the person behind you is disconnected. It happens to everybody. But you have to keep playing. And it's unfortunate the man sat out or disconnected, but that's the way it goes, that's life. Move on, blinds 150, 300. We expect to see a full pot raise here is something like 1,000. I say the blinds have got very big here, very quickly on this. A lot of very quick passing going off. I'm just not sure how many people are connected, but they're passing at a fair old rate. Lucy Bell in a small blind with 3 deuce. Maybe Don was sitting out in the big. So it's at the table now we have Don Chaos, Hedge 666, who we think is a lady. Bet the lot, who's sat out, Quite Tight, Napping with a K, Jugglebugger's been with us since the beginning, Roughneck 57 and Lucy Bell. This hand here, Jugglebug with a 9-10, just a straight draw. King Jack is winning comfortably. So betting. Jugglebug either lets go or tries a re-steal and decides to let go. Hedge takes advantage of the sitting out person to their left, and this is quite legitimate. If you see someone sitting out in your MTT, you can't at this stage you can't do what some of my people think is the gentlemanly thing. You have to keep playing. There's a bunch of tables and a bunch of people, and it's just one of those things. You raise up and you take it. But we'll try and get you an update of how many runners are left shortly, from whence we can work out the average stack, etc. But I'm sure they're very busy in the gallery right now. Lucy Bell with the 8. Lucy Bell is the best player in this table in my opinion. Has played good solid poker, aggressive, and has the chip stack that his play or her play merits. So Jugglebug with ace-8, you'll get no resistance from Roughneck with 7-5. Lucy has a little pair here. I think the people at the bottom of the table are sitting out, and there's a gift for Lucy Bell with the 5s. Hedge finds a pair of 4s in early position. How will she play this? She passes. And we now know that Roughneck is sitting out because Roughneck had a pair of kings. I fancy would have, with that stack, 1.5 big blinds would have got in. So poor Roughneck's sitting out as well. Quite a few guys sitting out here. In fact, I'm only certain of 2 people actually sitting in. Quite Tight as the aces.
I wish I did.
So Hedge raises it up with the aces. Quite Tight is definitely there. Oh my goodness. And Hedge unbelievably flops Broadway, and Quite Tight flops the top set. Nobody can escape here. The board needs to pair for Quite Tight to survive. Hedge has been unbelievably fortunate there. What we call a lucky fish. Excellent stuff. So we're going to move on now, and we'll go back to the cash game a little later on. But in the meantime, we're going to go back to the MTT a little later on. We've seen it come nicely to the boil. We're going to move on now to the cash game to see how our friends are getting on, see how Johan is doing with his stack, which is still nicely stable. Morrison still has plenty, and Deadman sit there with 118. Let's have a quick look what we got. We've got Morrison 24 with 169. Nick with 68. Kamishi with 63. Joey the Lips with ace 7 has 19 bucks. Robin Joanne 48. Joanne as ever sitting on a mountain with 148, and Deadman with 118. So let's pick this up. Kamishi with King 2. No hand, no draw really. Joey the Lips still playing his raggy aces and wins this one, I would think, unless he lets go. I don't know how you can call that. If you've got ace 7 and someone bets into you on an ace high board, I have to run away. You're losing to like ace 8, ace 9, ace 10, ace jack, ace queen, ace king. But moves in here, gets called, wins it. Well, if it wins the pot, there's nothing wrong with it. I have to say it's a play I can't make in a million years. Good luck to the Lips. Kamishi raises it up on the button. Gets action from Joey the Lips with his Queen Deuce this time. The Queen Deuce is winning and bets out. Well, another raggy ace for Joey the Lips, late position, but he's going to walk into two other aces. One of them the same hand, one ace 10, but does have the advantage of position. So I think this is a legitimate race here, in my opinion, assuming he puts the raise in. In fact, it's just called, and he's up against ace 10. Now, Johan Horne doesn't know how far ahead he is. It's only a spot, but it's a mile. How can he play this? They both have the same straight draw, and Joey, with the advantage of position, takes that down. Joey, should I say, Joey the Lips takes that down. I have been less than complimentary about his play with small aces, but in that particular situation, it was spot on. On the button, ace 9, go for it. I don't quite know what's happening here with 4 deuce. Quite what? We don't really, you call to hit a flop with 4 deuce, you call to take someone off a hand. Let's just hope it doesn't come 2 hearts, because that would be a serious problem, and it does just that. So they both have a flush draw. One has a 4 flush draw, one has a 7 flush draw on a paired board. I think I would be playing it slow in both cases, but I'm not Joey the Lips, who puts a $2 bet in. Surely must get called by dead man. Surely. Or raised. No. Well, I've never. There you go. That's why you call with 4-2. I've complained about calling with small hands. I complained about calling with suited cards. We had both of it there, and the chips go to the 4-2 of hearts. So it shows you how much I know. And now we've got 4 deuce against 4-4. And nobody can know that the 4-4 is winning on a King Queen 3 flop. Mind you, there aren't many flops that go well for pocket fours, especially when you're playing against 4 deuce. Morrison picks up the jacks. Might have a little speculative raise from dead man on the button with ace 9, whatever he'd right to. You know, might get involved with his suited ace, I hope not. Yep, makes it $2 with a suited ace. That's a probe. Dead man with a bigger ace, let's go. Morrison is now going to re-raise, I hope. Correct. Morrison re-raises to 725. Johan Horne now knows he's losing. He either plays to take someone off or he passes, and done nothing wrong. Sometimes you have to put some money in to see where you are. What makes this guy quite good, because he does find out where he is before it gets too expensive. So 3s for Nick. Queen 9 for Kamishi, 6-7, which is winning for our friend Johan. Bottom pair, knowing him, he'll have a little punt at this. He probably doesn't. There was no action on the flop, so somebody ought to try and take this one now, and Kamishi immediately does so. If nobody liked the king on the flop, then certainly nobody liked the king on the turn, so somebody needs to get in there. You know they haven't got the kings, but hard to call. Moving on a pace now. Queen 7 and King 8, they both catch some of this. Kamishi with second pair, Joey with top pair, and better kicker. Dangerous flop though, 2 hearts and 6, 7, 8. She plays this strong with second pair. Nice poker. There's not a hand to be seen here. Before we have the next break, we'll have a quick look at an email. See if we can find what's around. So King Jack top pair for Nick. Joey Lips has got bottom pair, and Johan has got an under pair. Hard to see Nick letting go of this one. Nice pot, 775. Should go without too much drama. Okay, Nick M with the Jack Queen. We should be moving on and coming back to the cash game a little later on. We'll see this hand, and then we'll take an email or two. And Nick N walks into Robin Joanne, who has the mighty aces, but not too much drama there. So we will pick up that cash later on, and in the meantime let's have a look at an email for you. And we have one from Ironside here, our friend Ironside from so far up in Scotland. He's actually in Norway or Scandinavia or somewhere. It's a dreadful place. He lives near Elgin, which is north of everywhere really. One day Tikay will tell the truth. It was 5-0, not 3. Well, he's claiming he beat me 5-0 at heads up. Can you imagine? But I know your memory's going. I do hope you're going to invite Lyndsay to the next bash so she can watch you lose first hand. The bash, Lyndsay, is a blonde bash.
Oh, right, okay.
We have wonderful fun at these blonde bashes. They're just fun poker, and we all have a good time. And so that looks like you have an invitation to come along.
I would love to.
And you'll certainly be welcome, and you'd have a good time.
I would love to.
Now we have an email from Setmet1, who we saw earlier on, and it says, Chris Agill. Hi both, have only been playing about 8 months and never live. I would like to play a live tourney but haven't a clue about things like table etiquette. For example, can you ask the dealer about how much is in the pot, etc. Any tips on live play? Also, where can you find out about tournaments that are going on? The last question first, where can you find out about tournaments going on? Most of the websites list the forthcoming events. There are a number of good websites. I won't name them here because that would be wrong, but there are any number of poker websites and poker forums where you can go on and find this information, sign up to one of the forums, ask the question, say you're new, where can I find live tournaments, and they will help you out. Lots of forums do this. I know on my forum you'd be very welcome. You would be welcome on the Poker Night Live forum. That's what they're there for, to welcome new players in the community. So just find yourself a poker forum, put this question on there. The Poker Night Live one's perfect for it, and you'll be directed. Where can you play? Well, we don't tell us where you live, which doesn't help, but there are live tournaments all over the UK, 7 nights a week. Really, it's a bit daunting the first time you play. If I knew where you lived, and perhaps if you could send us another email this evening, I could arrange for someone who could, as it were, help you out on the first night. I was helped out on my first night, and it got me through. I've helped out hundreds of people since. I wouldn't say help, but I've accompanied them, held their hand, as it were. Enabled them to enjoy their first experience, because it can be very, very intimidating. So what I'd like to do is to go back to this email a bit later on. If you could drop in again another email and tell us where you live, we will be able to extend it out, and we will find someone that will actually be at the venue, myself maybe, or somebody that we know, and we will be able to give you a nice first evening. So we're coming back to the break.
Yes, we are. We're going to have to take a short break. Then we're going to be watching the Beat the Presenter game back without giving anyway. It's at a very crucial stage, so excuse me for being distracted. But come back after the break. We'll watch this back, and also lots more poker coming up. So stick around, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Hello, welcome back to Poker Night Live. I'm Lyndsay. I'm joined by Tikay tonight. You have my full undivided attention now. Sorry I was being a bit dizzy before the break, but I was still playing the Beat the Presenter tournament, so we watch that back very soon and see what happened. I think it'll be an interesting one to watch. We're here with you till 2 o'clock. We've got lots more coming up for you, including the final table of our MTT. Also, we still want to hear from you. If you've got any questions for Tikay or any comments, then you can text us here in the studio. The text number is 84222. There it is on your screen. Put the word poker at the start of your message. Or you can email, and the address is coming up. There it is. It's poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Get your questions coming through. We want to hear from you. Want you to get involved with the show tonight. If you've got any stories as well. Tikay, you've been having a good run in tournaments recently, haven't you? Are you going to tell us about your little run?
In live tournaments, sometimes the luck turns. This is called variance.
Yes.
You can play very well tournament after tournament, and I've had a pretty bad 6 months live. Not had many draws, and you know, just kept running into hands with hands. And then suddenly the weekend it changed. I went over to Dublin and played in the charity tournament, 20-minute clock, which didn't suit me, and got lucky all night. Managed to get 8th. Very pleased with that.
Yeah.
And then we went to Luton.
Yes.
And the whole weekend, I never seemed to get my chips in when I was behind, and when I had big hands, I got paid. Very, very fortunately. Sometimes I flopped quads on Friday.
Brilliant.
That doesn't happen very often.
I bet it doesn't.
And found a customer. So that's Merry Christmas when you flop quads and someone bets into you. And then the following night, I managed to run into the chip leader.
Yes.
I was trying to trap somebody else, and I limped with pocket nines, and the guy I was trying to trap passed.
Yeah.
And the small blind just checked, and the small blind flopped top and middle pair, and I flopped top set.
Brilliant.
So I went from chip leader to massive chip leader in one hand, just by sheer luck. And the following night, against the chip leader, and I've been almost down to nothing, and managed to get lucky to double up 3 times. Treble up with ace-10 against ace-king. And I found 8s against the mad chip leader who had some sort of ace.
Yes.
And I raised it up to get rid of him, and he called. And I thought, well, I can't put another penny in this pot. First card on the flop was an 8, and the second card was an ace. So that's what changes your fortunes. So all of a sudden you get big hands, and they hold up, and they get bigger. And,
yeah. So all peaks and troughs.
It's as simple as that. I don't think I've ever cashed in 5 consecutive live finals, and I don't mean £20 comps even. One was 300 euros, one was 100, one was 300, one was 500, and another was 100. So they're all decent tournaments.
Yes.
Just when your luck turns, your luck turns.
That's
Running hot,
it.
as they say.
And you've got Helsinki next, and then Paris. So let's hope the luck carries on.
Yeah, I'm flying to Helsinki in about 6 hours.
Yes.
Which I'm looking forward to, going with a few friends. And then Warsaw the weekend for the Midlands medley. And then next week in Paris, I'm not playing, I'm actually helping to update. But that's the WPT.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of poker. I mean, it doesn't matter what situation you're in. Every time the hands are dealt, you just never know what cards you're going to get. You just don't know what you're going to be dealt, or if it's going to match that flop. And no matter how bad things seem, the great thing about poker is being optimistic. Every single hand can be a monster. Every single hand can be the turn, the time that things change for you. And I love the game. You need to be able to deal with the beats and the bad runs, but enjoy the good runs when they come, that's for sure.
Yeah, and let's hope it continues. Okay, we've got the Beat the Presenter game ready to go, so let's see how optimistic I am, because it was a $20 tournament, and I have to say, the most I ever play is $5 tournaments, or normally $2 or $5. I've never played in a $20 one, but all the guys on there were really good. They said, just treat it like any other tournament. It's still the same players playing the same game. Don't panic. So that was the advice they gave me, so I tried to do that. So let's see how it pans out. So the Horne is there at the bottom. We've got double top there, my old mate. 7-8 on tilt. Charwell is on this table as well, who we saw play brilliantly earlier on. Buffy Be Good. RNC is there as well, the Dragon Kill, and Cincinnati.
There's been no raise here, is that right? Or has there been a raise?
I just checked it because I was on the big blind.
There've been no action.
Yes, yeah.
You started with 1,000, yeah?
Yes, we did. Started with 1,000 chips. Unfortunately for me, I've hit the ace, but the dragon kill's got ace queen.
How are you going to play this ace deuce when you've hit it?
I don't play this very well, actually.
Well, you
I called the ace, which I didn't think was too bad. It's the next...
well, you could have been facing a flush or a straight.
Yeah.
A draw. So, not the worst player in the world, but it has to be said ace 2 isn't beating much and you're out of position.
Acey there, but when the dragon kill re-raised me, I should have got away from it there.
Maybe so, yeah. I think it's a difficult hand to play in that position. It's not beating much. And the betting suggested that you were probably beat.
Yeah.
And so you burnt off a quarter of your stack calling.
Yeah.
And some might say you're better off raising with some pile of junk rather than calling when you've got really the weakest ace there is.
Yeah. I put in the little bet to ask the question, but you
Absolutely.
gave me the answer,
Yeah.
and I didn't listen. That was the problem there.
Well, not necessarily, you didn't believe.
Yes.
But there were so many hands beating you there that for a quarter of your stack, I think you could make better use of them. But there's plenty of time yet with blinds at 10-20. Not an easy seat with Buffy Be Good and Charwell to the 2 seats to your left.
Me and Double Top have got a history in the Beat the Presenter games. I've beat him, he's beat me.
You get it into each other, do you?
Yes, we do. So he puts in the raise with his pair of 10s. And gets no callers. Not much out here.
Well, you can sit and, there's no need to be busy. You can sit nice and quietly.
Yeah. It's got a couple of limpers so far. The dragon kill with his ace 9. Cincinnati limps in with king 8. Dragons hit the ace.
Tactically, you're just going to sort of sit and wait for a while.
Yes,
There's no rush.
Yeah, blind's still small, so I'm not in any rush yet.
So no great action yet a while. I bet when you're sitting here now in the early stages that there's still 8 people left and you're sitting there, you're chipped 7th or 8th. You're now thinking about that ace deuce, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, I burnt all those chips away on a hand.
And I knew as well straight away how stupid it was.
I'm out
and
of
I think,
position and I've got
it was
not
just
beating
awful.
any ace.
But I'm glad it happened so early on because...
Well, absolutely. There's plenty of time to recover. But never forget, I mean, people get tired of me saying this, but a friend of mine is called Mickey Wernick, and he is the European champion. He's the European rankings winner. He's the best player in Europe officially. And he's a gentleman of advanced years, shall we say.
Yes.
He's been around the block a few times. And he always says, in these situations where you are, as you were then with the ace-2, can I envisage, do I have enough time to find a better situation to put my chips in? Am I likely to find a better situation than ace-deuce out of position? And the chances are there is a better position to get a quarter of your chips in, and there's plenty of time. Always ask that question. Before I make this call, do I think I could find a better situation?
I should only be doing moves like that when the blinds are huge and I'm getting desperate. Never
and,
when there's plenty of time.
This is a man that's won more tournaments than you've ever played, and he just has this simple rule: is there a better situation? Well, we've got a little bit fortunate here, haven't we? Because you're going to bust the aces. You make a minimum raise. Somehow you have to get maximum value out of this and get all your chips in, which I'm sure you're going to do. Well, somehow you leave 10 behind.
I know, I did that by accident, actually.
You get the slider mixed up.
Yeah. I've got a habit of doing that, actually, lately. Just not pulling the slider far enough along.
Well, you got almost maximum value. You got everything except 10 chips.
Yes.
You have to be lucky to beat aces, but they get beat one time in 5, so might as well be you. Here in one of those cruel situations, an ace-3 is beating a pair of 7s. But Buffy's not going to go away, and now Buffy is in commanding situation, and Cincinnati is drawing dead. There's no card. The worst card in the world would be a 5 to give it a straight, but Cincinnati's drawing dead because Buffy Be Good has the second nut flush. Cincinnati doesn't have a club in his hand, and there's a little strange betting on there. Can't know what that's supposed to represent. Guess re-raised. But at least he found where he was and let go.
Yeah.
Nice hand for Buffy there. You lucky thing.
I thought I played it well, though.
Ace Jack.
Did you think
Ace Jack against aces?
The little check and the little bets?
I thought you did play it very well. I'm like you. When I've got the nuts, I'm pretty brave. But you didn't go silly by.
I thought I'd do the check, put in a little bet on the turn.
You played it beautifully. The answer to the question is: did you get maximum value? And you did.
Except 10.
Well, you got a bit lost with a slider,
yes,
but you got all the value you could have dreamt of.
But yeah, it was very, very fortunate to get a set of jacks against a pair of aces. Very lucky. And I probably didn't deserve it after the way I played that ace too.
Well, I don't think anybody very often plays a tournament without making the odd mistake.
Yeah.
And if you don't try things, then you don't find out. And sometimes mistakes, work out for you. The thing to do is to learn from them, and then move on. It's no good to sort of keep looking back and saying, "I made a mistake. I made a mistake." And sometimes you have to play a bit raggy poker. Hope a 4 doesn't come here and you catch your silly straight.
I know, yeah. Well, I was only in because I was on the big blind. I never would have played with that otherwise.
I assume you get out the way. 2 of your outs are sitting to your left as it happens.
I didn't know that, yeah. I thought if it went more than 60, I wouldn't. I thought I'd see one more card for 60 just in case, because I thought if I do...
This is one of those situations, though. If the 4 were to come, there's only 2 4s out.
Yeah.
Where you would get paid everything. Because the guy with the pocket 4s would hit trips.
Yeah.
So you'd be in a lovely position, but what have you done here? Have you called?
I've just called the 60, yeah. I thought I'd see one more card if the straight
well, you've got a few
come.
more chips now, so it's not a disaster, and there's a nice pot there.
I thought if the straight, I could really get paid if I hit it, and if it didn't come in the next card, then I would get away from it. Maybe I should have just left it before the 60, though.
Well, this is the 2 pairs versus top pair on the flop, second pair on the board situation. I wonder if Cincinnati's too far in to get out of this. He might just have to call this. He does. And we will very soon see our first departure, which will be Cincinnati. Now, you don't know this, but 78 on tilt has got the aces.
It just puts in a little
raise, which I fancy you might be tempted to call.
Do you fancy right?
Just let's see a flop, see what happens. Catch 2 spades, and it'll all go off. Catch none of that, I guess you get out of the way now.
Yeah, check fold mode now.
Yep. Cincinnati's all in, so everybody's going to hope that Cincinnati gets busted here, so they're only down to 7.
It on tilt, just puts in another little 60. Unfortunately for him, no one else has got anything really, so he's going to find it difficult to extract a lot out of this.
Well, poor old Cincinnati thinks he's actually got out of this by catching the top pair on the end, but it wasn't to be. Just while we're watching this, it's just a word to somebody that was on one of the tables earlier, and we read an email from earlier, which was Sekhmet1, which is actually a young lady. We're going to be, Chris has come back to us again with the information we asked, and we'll be returning to that email a little later on. You're going to need a pencil and paper. So we'll go through that one a little bit later on.
Take some notes.
Yep. Ace-7, Ace-Jack. With a 7 of spades. The dragon might just want to get out of the way here. So 7 players left. You all started with 1,000 chips. There was 8 of you, so that's 8,000. The average is 1,100 and something.
Yep.
1,140. 1145. You've got 1360, blinds are 2040, plenty of time. I'd be pretty much keeping out of the way at this stage.
Yeah.
Let the children play. Let the maniacs do their thing.
There's no need for any unnecessary risks.
You can be in 3rd or 4th place without doing too much now. I have to say, it's much nicer to look at you in the flesh than it is on that computer screen. With this lovely dress you got on.
Oh, thank you.
I saw a young lady yesterday, and I said she had a nice frock on. And the man I was with laughed, said, "Oh, that's why she knows what a frock is. You know what a frock is, don't you?"
Oh, I say that quite regular, actually. Do you like me frock?
Yep. My nan used to have a frock. She used to have frocks.
It's quite a northern thing to say.
Is it?
I think, yeah.
Do you know what a liberty bodice is?
I don't know. It sounds a bit...
That's like an old...
rude.
No, it's not rude at all. It's like a... I don't know what I call them these days. In those days, it was a griddle, a girdle, or a...
Like a chastity belt?
No, that's not like a chastity belt at all, whatever a chastity belt is.
A liberty bodice?
It's like a thing that makes...
To hold you in?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so, yes. That's what old people used to have. Did you know that when you say to someone these days they're gay,
yeah,
then it means they're boring and dull?
No, it doesn't.
It does, I promise you. It's the street language. So you're not
it means lots of things.
It means lots of things, but there's a new... The language on the street these days, you know, like wicked is good.
Yeah.
Wicked became good about 10 years ago.
It depends on what context you were to say.
Well, if you're with youngsters, you know, people like myself, gay these days means boring or dull. So there you go.
I would have said quite bright and...
Well, that's another meaning,
yeah.
But that was the meaning before it became the other meaning, wasn't it?
Yes.
Well, it's got a new meaning now. You have to keep up with these trends. Ace, king, king, jack, and you've got a tinsy pair. You raised it up. It's brave stuff. Under the gun, you represent a very big hand. Well, the ace king's not going to go away, that's for sure.
Well, I thought if I was going to play it, I needed to push everyone off. Because
one or the other. One or the other. You have got position as well. And, you know, you're entitled to think you're winning on this flop, aren't you? Yeah, you don't think he's got any of this.
I like the flop. And the 40 was a bit...
That bet doesn't actually worry us at all, does it? That just says I'm looking to see where I am. Perfectly played. Made a pro bet. You didn't fall for it. Took his money. Killed the dragon.
Because I think you might as well fold those tiny pairs unless you're going to play them really strongly.
Yep.
I've had my fingers burnt with those too many times.
That's the worst thing, is just keep calling with these damn things. It's very expensive.
Yes.
You catch your set. Some days you catch 2 or 3 sets with them and you get paid. Other days, you know, you don't see a set. As you said, I have a good run this weekend. I must have caught 12 sets.
Yeah.
But I've been a month, maybe 2 months in live poker and never caught a set.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes.
Like you say, it's variance.
Yep. I didn't get enough variance to win here. I got involved in 3 of the 5 competitions. I got involved in heads up, and I didn't get enough variance to win any of them though. But there might be a reason for that. So what are you doing here? You're in the small blind.
I was on the
with
small
Jack
blind
6.
and everyone else had folded, so I thought rather than just give the blinds away, for 20 I might as well see if I can hit a jack or a flush draw for 20.
I know you've bet out to represent the ace,
Yeah.
and he's believed you, or she's believed you.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
I don't know if it's such a good idea watching these back on TV because they're going to be able to work out
I think it's wonderful.
when I'm being sneaky. It's quite unlike me actually to represent something I don't actually have.
No, don't start saying that. You're claiming you never bluff now, are you?
And very, very rarely actually. That's true. Yeah, very rarely.
You come from Newcastle,
Yeah.
and you expect us to believe it. Wow, Charwell's got a bit of a hand here. Nut flush draw, top set. Misses the flush draw, but no bet
Very
in the world's
nice.
going to get rid of Charwell here.
Yes, very nice, Charwell.
So you have a little ace here.
Yes.
So do 2 other people. I assume you let go quickly. Yes.
Another little ace.
So I hope we're not going to get too lively with this raggy ace, because sitting to your left is a trap.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's enough to scare me away.
Well, I hope so. Could have been worse. It could have been that, couldn't it? That
It's,
was-
it's a little weakness in my game, I do think, raggy aces. I think,
Well, many people do it, but you have to think what you're beating.
yes. Luckily that one only cost me 40.
Yep.
Another one?
Well, let's see what you do now. And there's someone else with an ace.
Yeah, just to make life easy for me.
You see, the ace-8 suited on the button is not a bad call if there's no action, because you're not just calling to hit your ace or your flush, you're calling that if everybody misses, you can steal the pot.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity. So if you're in late position, there's nobody else in except the blinds, always worth a call or a raise,
Right.
because you might take it without resistance.
Yes.
You know, just sit there and concentrate and look for them spots where there's weakness. The weakness would be nobody else is in the pot, you're in late position, a little raise or even a call, and unless the blinds hit or they've got something, you've got a free pot.
Yeah.
You might even have 2-3 in your hand. A man raised me last week, over the weekend, with deuce 3, and I called him with deuce 4, because I had position,
Yes.
and I thought I was winning, and I was winning. And you can't often call with 2-4 and say, I think I'm winning before the flop, can you? But he was American,
Yeah.
so we don't count that.
So making little weak calls there has just cost me 120 chips. Unnecessarily.
Yeah, I mean, you can burn chips. So it's not so bad when the blinds are small, but they're getting quite big now, 40,
Yeah.
80, and it's 7.5% of your stack every time you make a call. We've got 4-6 and ace-4. Oh my goodness.
I
The
know.
4-6 thinks he's got 2 pairs, which he has. Why did that happen? Did double top let go there? I don't know what happened there, because the bottom pair was counterfeited. It was the queen's paired. Maybe they split it.
I think they must have, yeah,
No,
because
they couldn't have split it. Thinking about it, I think somehow Dragon Kill must have sneaked that. I wasn't watching properly. You got King 8 here. You got a gut shot straight draw. We've got 2 straight draws actually.
yeah. Want a queen or a 7?
Yeah. In effect, you're up and down to both ends. the queen, as it happens, would only split it.
Yes, because our
But you're all losing to Buffy's pocket threes.
Now
you have a problem, don't you? Because you raised there.
Yes.
I'd be inclined to have called. There is a straight possibility. There is a straight there, and by doing so, you took the pot. So I would have just called there, in case they came back over the top. If they've got the queen and would tickle bet in it,
Yeah.
and you raise, they then go back over the top. You only get called if you're losing. So for me, I just call.
Right.
You get exactly the same amount of chips.
Yeah.
I think raising there was, as it happens, you stole the pot doing it, but it's dangerous when there's a straight showing.
Okay.
Because they, what was they betting? They was either betting to probe or they was betting to induce you to get some money in. So quite often, when you're last to speak, it's worth just checking.
Just calling.
Just calling.
Yeah.
Just call. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just calling, and you're going to get the same out of it.
Okay.
And the amount of times people put a little raising on the end just to be greedy and hope they get called, and then the original better then goes over the top. You think, oh, now what do I do
What do
now?
I do now?
I'm
Yeah.
stuck with it. You know?
Yeah, good point.
I can't possibly win in. So just call in those situations,
Yeah.
I would say.
Good point.
I learnt that the hard way. And you play double top quite a lot, do you?
Yeah, he seems to follow me around the tables. Yes,
I wonder why.
we've had some confrontations.
I wonder why.
So double top, currently chip leader. Just slightly more than me though, I have to say.
Makes no odds.
No.
Blinds are still small. Early days yet. Everybody's playing this fairly sensibly, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
You should try playing with a bounty on you. It's you can't believe the sort of things people do when there's a bounty on you. It's very, very tough. It's great fun, but
I can imagine.
yeah, there's a whole new way of playing it.
You're like a marked man.
Yep. Keep it nice and quiet here. Plenty of patience. Many people say the greatest attribute in poker, is patience.
You did seem to be more control, even though
How about this for a hand?
Oh, flop the straight.
Flop the bottom straight. And double top has now got two pairs. That was very nice. Nobody has a sausage here. Nobody has a thing. Queen 3. There aren't many flops where you're going to be raising here, I don't think.
No.
Oh dear. No, I've said that and you've caught one. Now what are you going to do? Well, I hope you pass here, even though you're winning.
Why?
Well, if someone has got a queen, and we can see because we've got the benefit of seeing everybody's hands, if somebody has got a queen, you're not winning, are you?
No, not with a 3 kicker.
But you've done it the brave way. You've re-raised. I must make a note when I play against you. Wow, that's a way to steal a pot.
Well, I didn't so much steal it because I was winning.
You was winning, yeah. You wasn't winning if anybody had any queen except a queen deuce.
Yeah.
Well done. That's all I can say. Well, if this gets to you with no action, you're going to do well. But it doesn't, and you're going to pass.
I've come to the conclusion that you've got to be a bit ballsy when you're playing against this lot, because
Yep.
I've tried it the timid,
Absolutely.
sensible way and haven't really got anywhere.
You're not wrong.
So
You're not wrong.
I've kind of tried to turn up the testosterone.
You are not wrong. Well, ace 10 gets there against the 5s, and we say goodnight to RNC. And whilst no one wishes anybody any ill at a poker table, well, some people do, but I don't. The fact is, if you're playing a sit and go and someone gets busted out, that is good news.
Yes,
There's one
yes,
more
it
spot
is.
nearer the money.
Yeah.
And if you weren't involved in the hand, it's even nicer, because you've done nothing and you've moved up a bit. So unlucky RNC, but the door's over there. That is what people think, and you know, it's about getting to the money, so, and then taking it from there.
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? So
Yep.
it's...
Well, there's a nice hand, King Queen suited. Are you going to get involved here? Well, I know you're going to get involved. that's my, yeah, I thought you might. Sensible raise, enough that you can get away from if something was to happen nastily, like this man go all in with his jacks. Actually, if he did go all in with his jacks, you'd have a problem here. That is awkward. That is awkward.
This was a tough one, actually.
That's a difficult decision. He's made it just right. Really, he's given you the odds to call, to be truthful.
If he'd gone all in, I wouldn't have called this.
Well, I think it's a correct call. I think the way he bet, he meant that it meant that you were obliged to call for odds. And you've hit your king. I don't suppose anything can get you off this hand now. Well, he can't. The guy's got 400 left. There's 17, 16 in the pot. Doesn't matter how this plays out. You can't let go now. You never let go. Unless he catches a jack, you're going to take a nice pot here. You've bet here, have you?
Yes.
See where you are? Yep, okay. He tried to get his last 440 but failed.
Yeah. I thought I'd better bet because he could have had ace king.
Well, it wouldn't make any difference, would it?
No.
Because if he moved in, you'd still call.
Yeah, I think I would have, yeah.
So it's difficult to know whether you should bet there or not. But maybe if you bet, you'd have got the rest of them. But it wouldn't matter if he had ace king. With the chips he's got and what's in the pot, you're stuck with calling. It's Mr. Browning's hand, isn't it? Ace king?
King queen, yeah.
Oh, king queen, I mean.
Yeah.
Is what you had?
Yeah. Sure is.
He was quite heroic on Saturday. He was on his own. Did you see any of that?
Yes, yes.
Meant he had to talk a lot, which I'm sure he found difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure he enjoyed it. Didn't have to do anything to take that one down.
Yeah, I'm moving in a nice position now. There are 6 players left. You started with 2,000, did you? Didn't you? So 16. So
Started with 1,000.
you started with 1,000.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So 6 players left. 8,000 chips in play. 1,300. 1,350 is the average. You've got 24. You're in great shape. And now, well, how lucky are you? Aces against kings. Oh, you've got cut short straight. No, he hasn't. Wow. You're so lucky. Aces against kings. Good luck to you. So now you're a monster. Now you've got 4,500. And you're miles ahead of anybody. You're in tremendous shape here. Now let's see if you're going to start bullying now. Well, don't bully in this hand, whatever you do. Charlie will be trying to get maximum value for these kings, I fancy.
Yeah.
You've called, have you?
Yes.
Which is perfectly legit. And he's put a very small raise in there. But, you know, look at the stack he's got. No matter what hand. Oh, no.
It's not nice, is it?
No. Yeah, but before you put your chips in, you have to understand that when he made that bet, what it meant that he was committed to putting all his stack in.
Yeah.
So that was what it's going to cost you if you get involved.
This is horrible what happens to Charwell here.
Oh, my goodness. You should be ashamed.
I felt guilty after that one,
you
actually.
should be ashamed.
Yeah, but do you know what? It's happened to me plenty of times. It really has.
I am jesting. These things happen.
Yeah, it's happened
if
to
he
me
could see your
plenty of
hand
times.
before the flop and you said to him, shall I call with my jack 10 against your kings?
He would have said yes.
Yeah. And so he's lost. That's the way it goes. So now you're
Sorry,
an absolute
Charwell.
monster with 5,500.
Yes. Yes, it was.
This is bully
unfortunate.
time now, is it?
Yeah, why not?
And you're going to demolish another player now. You sure do. With your no hand, with your king high.
Hmm.
Do you have no shame?
No.
That's okay. I don't see you
I
putting
told
this,
you, I've
I don't see you
learned the
putting
hard way. You've got to be tough against
this, I don't
these
see you putting this
guys.
down to either player either.
They wipe the
with their
floor with
stack.
you if you don't.
I don't see you put this down to either player.
No.
Doesn't matter what happens. Oh my goodness, what a huge flop for double top. Even better now, has
Yeah.
the wheel. You are drawing dead and you catch your king. But as it happens,
I had to call it though.
as it happens, everybody's all in, so it makes no difference. Buffy says goodbye, and it's left with you and your friend double top, with whom you said you've had a number
I've
of
had a
confrontations.
number of conversations with double top, yes.
Well, you're going to have another one now because
Yeah.
you're heads up and you're big chip leader. You flop the top set here. It's just a question whether double top can get off this hand.
Go on, call me. Go on. No.
You bet there, did you?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It wasn't a massive bet.
There wasn't much in the way of draws out there, was there? You were always winning. It just might have been wiser leaving it another street, maybe
Yeah,
in the deuces,
yeah.
just to see if he had a little punt at it.
Yes.
But you were overwhelmingly massive, so it was never going to change anything. And now you're in a dominated hand here. Not many ways out of this.
No.
Not much you could do about that. You've learned a few chips. You're being grinded away here by misfortune more than anything.
Yes.
I hope we're going to let go of this completely. Yep. Well, you quite like that flop.
I did like that flop.
The nuts.
118 to 1 to flop the flush.
Is that right?
It is right, yes.
What about to flop the nut flush?
I don't know about that.
Well, that's what it is. You flop the absolute nuts. You can take that without an argument as well. So
Yeah.
now we're level on chips as near as makes no difference. So it should be plain sailing from here. I fancy a Lyndsay victory.
Yes, but will the wand of misfortune cast a spell on me?
Well, I fancy you won't let go of this hand either. Oh my goodness. I think this is this has the recipe disaster. This double top has picked up a gut shot straight.
Yeah.
Got the worst hand in the world, 3 deuce, or almost the worst hand in the world. Got a little bit of it. You've got top pair. Heads up, you're entitled to expect you're winning. Only a 4 can help. Or a deuce, or a 3, and the 4 comes.
Yes.
You have no escape route. There's nothing you can do
You
about that.
did me on the river.
Oh, that was cruel.
There was no way out of that for me, was there?
No, if another 3 come, another deuce come, nothing could change it. You cannot get off that.
Well done, double top. Well played, my man. You did well. Although you did get lucky on the end, I have to say. Okay, we're going to get the email from Chris, who sent you an email in earlier on. You asked for more information. We said we'd get back to it. Playing under the name of Sekhmet, who we watched earlier on in a tournament. And Chris says, "Hi TK, thanks so much for your reply. I live in Blackpool, and if you were there anywhere in the northwest would be great. I think I would enjoy a live tournament, and I have had a load to learn still, so any help would be very much appreciated. I've really been helped by PNL, and especially the tips you were given since you've been doing the shows."
Okay, Chris, the answer there is, firstly, if you live in Blackpool, the place to go is the Grosvenor Sandcastle, which is on the promenade by the South Pier, I think it is, right opposite the Pleasure Beach. You'll need to be a member, so you need to take some ID the first time you go. It's not local to me, so I don't get up there very often, but if you go and see the card room manager, a gentleman called Yogi Bear, would you believe?
Yabba dabba do.
You'll laugh all you wish, that's what he's done. His real name is Chris or Susan or something, but if you go and ask for Yogi, Yogi can't actually help you during the evening, but he can point you to someone that will. He'll find a player that's receptive to new players who will help you out. And it's very important the first time you play that you do find someone. You can actually go across to Bolton where they have rookie nights, but in your case I would suggest the Blackpool Grosvenor is exactly the right place. They have £5, £10 and £20 comps certain nights of the week, which is as low as it gets in live poker. So that's the right place to go. Yogi's the man to see who will find someone to help you out. In terms of etiquette, you asked about whether you can ask how much is in the pot. Of course you can ask how much is in the pot. In no limit poker, sometimes it's not done to ask what's in the pot, but you can ask the dealer that question. If it's pot limit, there's an easier way of doing it. You don't have to ask what's in the pot to put a bet in. You simply say pot, and then the dealer has to work it out for you. That's the rule. So if you want to bet the pot, and there's a big pile of chips in it, don't worry about how much is in it. Say to the dealer, I bet the pot. Alternatively, you say, how much would it be if I bet the pot? These are the questions you can ask. So there's no bad etiquette in that. The issue of transferring to live play from internet is one that fascinates me. I actually done 2 programs in this very studio for Sporting Odds on Poker Bowl, where we help people who went from internet poker to live poker. It is quite a jump, I can assure you, and an awkward thing to do. Firstly, remember, you must only act in turn. When you're playing online, it's impossible to act out of turn. When you play live, it's possible to act out of turn, and it's extremely bad form, and you will get a lot of bad press, you will get a lot of bad vibes, you will get people shouting at you. So whatever you do, please don't pass or act out of turn. Very important. The rest of it is just enjoy yourself, have a good time. In terms of cards, never pass out of turn, never show your hands out of turn. When you pass your cards, if other people in the pot don't show them, just muck them. Really the best thing to do is sit there quietly for about half an hour and watch what happens, and you will soon pick it up. Remember again, the other thing online is that your blinds get posted automatically. You don't have to do anything, it's done for you. Live it's not. Remember to put your small blind in when it's you to act. Remember to put your big blind in. And don't splash the pot. When you put, amazing how many experienced players do this, when you put your money in the pot, don't throw it at the pot of money that's in there. It's called splashing the pot. It is one of the rudest things to do. You know, I can show you top pros in the UK who still do it. They chuck their chips at the pot. It's wrong, it's bad, you must not do it. Keep your pot, keep the chips that you're putting in separate from the pot that's already in. Chuck them if you wish, chuck them in a stylish way, in a sexy way, in a nice way. But don't mess them up with the existing pot. It's a bad thing. That apart, just enjoy yourself. Write to us again on the forum, let us know how you get on. The other thing is you will get more enjoyment and a lot of coaching if you join a poker forum. There is a poker forum based very near where you are called A World of Poker. There's the Poker Night Live forum, which is an excellent forum. You ask any question of the presenters about the shows or tips on the Poker Night Live forum, you will get it answered. Or there's a Blonde Poker forum, there's loads of them. So find a forum that you enjoy, that you feel comfortable with, get on there, they will help you game. Lovely to see new players getting out live. Please do enjoy it.
And I guess the main thing is don't be afraid to ask.
Absolutely.
Everyone is going to be
Never
willing to
afraid
help you.
Most people, when they first play live, and this certainly applied to me, most people, when they play live the first time, it's very, very intimidating. And I would think thousands and thousands and thousands of players have never returned because they've had a bad experience. My good fortune was to find someone that helped me first time. I would do it to anybody else. A lot of players would. Find someone to help you. Go and see Yogi. He will find a friendly player that helps you out, and enjoy it. There's nothing like live tournament poker. It's wonderful fun.
So there you go. Good luck with it, Chris. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, we're going to head over to see a couple of hands of the cash game. We'll have to take a break soon, but we're going to see if we can squeeze some cash in before we go. And I'd just like to point out as well, the lovely members of the Poker Night Live forum have posted a wonderful picture on there, which they are claiming to be me. And I have to point out, it is definitely not me, boys. Thank you very much. I appreciate the gag. It's very funny. But if you've seen that picture, don't believe it's me because it's not.
Is it one of the two fat ladies?
It looks like it. It's a girl on the back of a van stuffing her face with a pie or something, and it's definitely not me. I prefer cake.
So, what have we got here? We've popped in very quickly to a 5 cent, 10 cents cash game.
Yes.
To see who's doing the business. I imagine the maximum sit down here would probably be $25. I'm just making that up.
It'll be it'll be $10, won't it? 100 times the big blind.
Okay. Well, I see Geordie, whose name was mentioned earlier in connection with the MTT last night.
Right. Yep.
It's the same Geordie or not?
Yes, I think it will be, and Gilberto there as well.
That's a strange name for a poker player. Is that Money Giver?
Money giver, yeah. He's not too much of a money
There's
giver.
our friend Kamishi there. They're all over the place, these guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're on every table.
Money giver's nearly trebled his starting stack, so he can't be.
By the way, I hope where you are today the weather's been good. In London here, where we are today, the weather has been absolutely...
It's been lovely.
Oh, fabulous weather. And I understand it's going to stay that way until the weekend.
We hope so.
Unfortunately, just when the weather's got nice, I'm departing these shores. I'm going to a cold place later this morning. I'm off to Helsinki, where I don't suppose it'll be anything like as warm.
No, I doubt it will be, actually. But hopefully it'll still be warm when you get back.
Well, yeah, I
so.
got too much sun on Monday anyway. I played golf, thanks to Brian Sadler at Luton, who arranged a poker golf day. We had a wonderful day, and I got burnt to a frazzle. Well, I got second prize.
Yes, you have got a lot of colour on your head
bit,
there.
Yeah, well, I got burnt.
Should have wore a hat.
I didn't realise it was so hot, but I got second in the golf, and then I had the golf poker last longer afterwards. Everybody that played the golf, the one that lasted longer got the prize.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to get that as well. So I had a smashing.
You're having a very. I think I'm going to get used to put the lottery on for me this weekend.
Anyway, very quickly, Brian, wish you well. Brian wasn't very well on Monday. Thank you for the invite. Hope you're soon better.
Yes, all the best, Brian.
And great day it was. Golf and poker are a nice mix.
Well, we're going to have to leave that cash game, I'm afraid, because we've got to take a short break. But please do get your emails in. We're here until 2 o'clock, so if you've got a question for Tikay, we'd love to hear from you. 84222 is the text number, and the email address is poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Okay, we're going to get back to the MTT after the break and see what's going on there. So stick around, and we'd love to see you very soon. Hello, welcome back to Poker Night Live. It's Lyndsay and Tikay with you till 2 o'clock. Tikay's laughing at an email we've just got. I'm going to read it out very soon. I've got to tell you though, folks, we've had a few technical problems, so we're very, very sorry, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to show the final of the MTT, so we do apologise for that, but we do have the results. First prize, which is a seat at the FHM Poker Tour tournament in Oslo, flights and accommodation, goes to 123 CJ. C321. It's like a Dalek from Star Wars or something. So well done for winning that prize, a great prize. Second prize, Llama Fish, who's a Poker Night Live regular, $300. And third prize goes to Harry B888, who gets $100, a t-shirt and a CD. So well done to all of you. We're very sorry that we can't show that final table. These things do happen. It is, of course, a very technical show. So please accept our apologies.
May I just say that only a young lady could have read that name out as Llama Fish. I sort of thought.
I am a fish.
No, you're,
Do you know
no, you're not. But I just feel that
we've had I am a fish plays all the time, and I do know that. I'm terribly sorry about that as well.
Well, congratulations to the three winners, though.
Yeah, well
I'm
done.
sorry that we couldn't bring the end of it. These things happen sometimes. I know from my own experience today that these things do go wrong. We've not been able to show your finest moment there. But congratulations to those that finished first, second and third.
And good luck in the tourney, 1, 2, 3.
Enjoy Oslo, you lucky person.
Enjoy the FHM chicks as well, I'm sure you will. Robert HM has sent an email, and Robert HM says, "Hi Lyndsay, I heard a mention of bounties in comps and was just wondering how they are chosen and what attributes they should possess. I asked because recently I played in an online comp and one of the bounties didn't seem to be able to play at all. At first we thought he was a beginner, but later discovered he may have been chosen as a planted fish. I felt really guilty taking him out, bearing in mind his age. P.S. Nice dress, but very worried about the effect on the old guy's pacemaker." I take it that's a friend of yours. I hope so.
He's not wrong about the old guy's pacemaker, I can tell you that. It's a very, very difficult situation sitting here tonight with this beautiful young lady sat here with this, what I described earlier as a off-the-shoulder jobby, but I got mocked for that on my forum as well, but she looks very beautiful, you must agree with that. Robert, yes, Robert is, I wouldn't say a friend, is an acquaintance. Robert's an estate agent and well known for his jumpers, his sartorial inelegance. He's actually known as the jumper.
Does he like his Christmas jumpers?
That's exactly it. He gets his Christmas jumpers and he wears them thinking they're like, you know, cool. And he takes it with a good heart, but we have given him a rough ride because of them. They're pretty dreadful things, I can tell you.
And did he take your bounty? Is that a true story?
No. Well, yes. It's very interesting playing a bounty. There are 2 competitions in which I'm regularly the bounty on 2 different sites. Not because I'm deemed to be a good player. It's a long story how I come to be the bounties. But anyhow, when you play as a bounty...
Because you're a taste of paradise. There you go.
Wow, I'm quite moved by that. When you're a bounty, particularly when the bounty is out of sync with the size of the competition, if the bounty is, you know, equivalent to second or third prize, everybody wants to do you, plus the bragging rights. And so if you move in early position, the chance you're going to get 9 callers. And so there is a way of playing them. You have to move in certain positions at certain times. Otherwise all these fish come in with their rubbish hands and do you. I'm bound to say it's very great fun though, and Robert had the honour of bountying me last week, and I suppose to someone of Robert's station in life, you know, beating Tikay is quite an achievement.
So there you go, well done Robert, you bask in the glory.
His real name actually is Robert Hardy McJumper. No, that is RHM,
Yeah.
Doesn't stand for jumper, does it? Robert Hardy McMumper. Maybe, I don't
Okay. What an unfortunate soul with a name like that. Thanks for your email anyway, Robert. If you would like to get in touch with us, please do. We want all your questions and your comments. You can text us live in the studio. There's the number for you, 84222. Put the word poker at the start of your message, or email. And that's the email address, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Okay, we're going to head over to a game now. It's a cash table, so let's head over there.
So 50 cents, sorry, 5 cents, 10 cents.
Yes, so a little cash table.
Just as interesting to those playing it. People forget that all the attention gets focused on the big names and the big games.
Do you know, myself and Mark Bannon were watching a 5 cent, 10 cent table on Monday night and saw some brilliant play. We really did.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to start somewhere, and it means as much to people in this level as it does people playing 50, 100, 500, 1,000, whatever. It's a bit like the Titanic. The majority of poker players play very small poker, but you know the media forget about them.
Yes.
And they are 90% of the players. So you know it's nice that we see these people now and then. And you're absolutely right. There's no suggestion that they play any less. They just don't put as much money on the table.
Yeah.
So we have queens against fours. The fours have called a set. There's no way off it for the queens. Maybe the king would have saved him if he hadn't been all in. So Kamichi's probably chuntering a bit that his queens have been turned over, and promptly departs the table, having lost all his cash. But that's the nature of poker. The best hand doesn't always win.
So money giver there has nearly quadrupled.
Yes, money giver has got, is that 39?
39, yeah, $39.86.
I'm struggling with my eyes a little here, but in seat one we have JOFD UFC, is that?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't know what that means. Ace Marco, Gilberto 1980, SG 145, our friend Geordie 222, Fermanagh 1, and the unfortunately named Money Giver.
Yes.
And this hand at the moment is being won by what's known as the full Wilson, which is, well, it's not a full Wilson, it's a part Wilson, 7-4 in seat 1. 7-4 is known as a Wilson, named after Brian Wilson, who won a World Series bracelet playing 7-4.
The threes have hit the set now.
Threes have hit the set, and
It's a straight draw for
SG 145 has an up and down straight draw, and it's time for everybody else to get out of the way. Fermanagh also has a straight draw. So there's two people with the straight draw and Money with the set. I can't see Fermanagh getting too much more money in here, and quite rightly, Money Giver takes. If you want to send some emails in, we're here and waiting. As we explained just now, unfortunately we can't show you the conclusion of the MTT, but we have given you the result, and congratulations to those guys.
You know, we were talking
isn't
about...
that an extraordinary thing? We just mentioned a couple of minutes ago that I'm off to Helsinki, the weather's wonderful here, it'll be cool there, and within minutes we have an email from a gentleman in Sweden.
Yes, Tobias.
Tobias Arvidsson.
Yes, and Tobias says, according to the forecasts, it's supposed to be mostly cloudy with a temperature around 17 degrees Celsius in Helsinki tomorrow, and on Friday, partly cloudy, around 19 to 20 degrees. In other words, not too cold.
Well, that was very kind of you, Tobias. Thank you very much. I don't know if you're watching in Sweden or wherever you're watching, but it's very kind of you to give us that. And I'm sure I'm going to have a lovely time. I actually got confused. I thought Helsinki was in Finland, and I had been there before, but it's... Oh, it is in Finland, isn't it?
It's the capital of Finland.
In that case, I thought it was in Iceland. When I went
That's Reykjavik.
When I went to book my flight, for some reason, I went on to Iceland Air.
Right.
And I found they didn't fly from London to Helsinki, which I thought was odd. But then I realised that Helsinki was actually in Finland.
Yes, it's the capital of Finland.
I went there a few months ago for a very big tournament, wonderful tournament, one of the best structured tournaments, probably the best structured tournament I've ever played. And it's a beautiful venue, and I lasted exactly 20 minutes. So it's a revenge mission.
You're going to redeem yourself.
I'm on a recovery mission. I don't know about redeem, but I want to play a little longer there this time. So I hope there'll be a few of the Swedish gentlemen in Helsinki.
None of the fours going to hit their set here?
No. Fours against fours, against twos, against ace-jack. And AAE Marco has actually picked up a straight draw with an overcard. Quite rightly puts a bet in. And Balrog, where's our friend Balrog?
Yes.
Sat down there, who probably gets out of the way despite the fact he's got a gut shot straight draw. Well, it's very kind of Tobias to drop that load in. Thank you very much.
It is, yes. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too bad. The weather looks okay.
Excuse my ignorance, but he's watching this from Sweden, presumably.
Yes, yes.
Sweden's in Norway, you know.
No, Sweden's its own country.
No, when they went in the common market, they actually joined together, and Sweden's now part of Norway.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Not a lot of people do.
I think you're making that up.
Don't be silly.
No, I think you are.
No, it's true.
It can't be.
Get a modern map. It's the same place.
Okay.
It's like a county of Norway now.
We'll take your word for it.
Trust me, would I lie? So, what are you laughing at?
So the explanation for it, when they went into the common market.
I see nothing wrong with that. I'm not sure they're in the common market, are they? But anyway, it does own it anyway.
Oh, we're not going to trust what you say when you thought Helsinki was in Iceland.
I actually, when I went on to book my flight, for some reason, I actually went on to Iceland Air. And I couldn't find the flight. I couldn't understand why.
Now you know.
Yes. It's nice to go to these places, though. I mean, poker's taken me all over Europe.
Yes, I bet it is.
Well, all over the world, actually, but it's nice to go to these places, see some friendly faces.
Yes.
And people laugh about the Scandi players being maniacs, but they have a wonderful temperament.
Yes.
And they play the game in a beautiful spirit.
It's always a good atmosphere.
I was in Norway recently, or I can't remember if it was Norway or Sweden now. It was one of the two. Both,
well, it's
actually.
the same thing, isn't it?
Well, it is. Exactly. It's illegal to have tournament poker in Norway, so the Norwegian Poker Championships were held just across the border in Sweden. And every time somebody got busted, everybody clapped. And they didn't clap cynically.
No, they
clapped.
Good
unlucky.
game, well,
Exactly that. And in Copenhagen for the EPT, which is the first time I saw it.
That's Denmark.
You're not wrong. They've done the same thing, and they do it in Barcelona as well. And some people think it's not nice. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, because it's not in a
it's not done in any
sarcastic
pleasant way.
way.
But the Scandinavian kids, they really do play it in a wonderful spirit.
Yeah.
There's some great players out there. Probably one of my favourite players of all time, a young lad called Johnny Lodden.
Right.
Comes from Norway. I hope he'll be in Helsinki. And I love the guys, I really do. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And I played a gentleman from Helsinki in St. Petersburg year before last, in a Russian poker tournament. And he beat me heads up for the main event. I ended up second for $7,000, I think. And it was fortunate because the trophy was like 4 foot tall. I couldn't imagine getting this thing.
You would have had to pay the excess baggage.
But the man said to me, if you're ever in Helsinki, look me up. And I looked him up last time I was there, and we've become great friends.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see him tomorrow as well. 2 pairs, Queen 6 against King Queen. Quite see how that finished up.
The flush he won, King High flush.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he took it with the second nut flush. Rather worryingly, we've had another email from Robert Harvey McJumper.
Oh. I'm looking forward to this. Robert says, Lyndsay, the last time I emailed Poker Night Live, Tikay declared himself a friend. Tonight, it is now acquaintance. Perhaps with this further email, he can deny ever meeting me and I can regain my street cred.
He had street cred to start with? I'll be honest with you, Robert. We were friends. But at the time, I knew he was an estate agent. And you know, estate agents being estate agents, I mean, you don't want to familiarise yourself too much with them, do you? So
No.
seriously, he's a great friend, and he has a certain skill that I wish I had. We're not going to go into that skill tonight, but he does do something extremely well, and he's a very, very lucky man, and I'm jealous, and he knows I'm jealous. Send your discards this way, man. Thank you, Robert, for that.
Yes, keep them coming, Robert. Keeping me entertained.
We're relying on you here. So 336 here. SG's got the A6. Gilberto's got 2 overs. Nothing to get too excited about. 65 cents in the pot. I don't know whether Gilberto's going to make a play at this, but I doubt if he'll get SG off. Well, Robert's got it. Oh, look at this. Aces on an ace-high flop against tens. As it happens, the ace and the king's going to save for mana. But mana's going to be a bit cross, but the truth is, if the ace and the king didn't come, the flop come 9-high, he'd have lost everything, but at least he has some warning signs to get him off it now. And Joe FD in seat 1 is sitting there rubbing his hands together, thinking, how many chips can I get in his pot? How much money can I get out of this monster? Bets now. In a way, he's been unlucky. He didn't want to hit that set. He didn't want to see the ace. He didn't want to see the king. He could have got nicely paid there. But you can't have it always.
No.
I notice Robert has responded elsewhere that he's not an estate agent, a sheep warrior breeder, or a model. Well, I don't recall saying tonight that he was a sheep warrior breeder.
Or a model.
He's a little on the defensive here, isn't he?
I think you've offended him now, calling him an acquaintance, not a friend.
Where's a sheep? No, you know these lovely, these things that your gran buys you, and you think, oh, that's nice. And these silly slippers and
Yes.
things, and you put them in a drawer and never see them again. Well, he wears them. Bless
With
him.
pride.
Wears them with pride, and what troubles me is he still manages to apparently have some attraction.
Nice 2-pair
In
for
which,
Gilberto
in which
there.
area he beats me hands down. Good luck to him. I'm told we have some more emails on the way, so...
Yes, Billy has sent an email in, and Billy says, when you have one of those bad runs and blow your bankroll through inexperience, should offers of backing be accepted, or should a player of a decent skill level go back to playing low stakes in order to bankroll themselves? By the way, Tikay, I have that $10 whenever you want to collect it. When are you back in Scotland again? That's from Billy.
I've got 2 diary dates to come to Scotland, Billy. Coming up, I think, it's 50-50, or maybe coming up to the Maybury next month, I think it is. It's not quite decided yet, but I'm almost certainly coming up to Glasgow, to Sin Sins in August for the festival. There's a lovely poker club in Glasgow called Sin Sins.
Yeah.
What makes a venue good is the people in it.
Yes.
You know, it can be any sort of venue, but if you get the right sort of people. Tremendous bunch of lads in Sin Sins. We went up there a few months back, had an absolutely whale of a time one weekend, and didn't want to come home. Billy was one of them, and we're going to come up there later this year in August for sure. Might be going to Maybury before that, but definitely coming up to Sin Sins. Look forward to seeing all you boys. In answer to the question, which was when you go skint,
Yes.
or as he puts it, blow your bankroll through inexperience, should offers of backing be accepted? Or should a player have a decent skill level go back to playing low stakes? Personally, I wouldn't be taking offers of backing. I think that creates extra pressure. Play with your own money, it counts. Play with someone else's money, it's like when you hire a car. If it's your own car, you look after it. If it's a hire car, you thrash its arse off because you don't really care. No, it's true, isn't it?
Nicely put, Tikay.
Well, it's the way it is. So personally, you know, I have a bit of a pride problem as well. I'd say, look, you know, I got myself in this hole, I'll get out of it, and when I get out of it, all the money's mine. If a good friend wants to help me, that would be wonderful, but I want to be backed. If he wants to lend me some money, or put me on my feet, or give me some money, well, that's maybe. But in terms of playing the game, you play poker when it doesn't matter. It's a different game completely. So my suggestion would be, if you can avoid being backed, try and do so. You know you have the game. I mean, we've all seen you play, and you've got plenty of moves in you. Try and play your own money. We've all gone skint at one time or the other. Just fight your way back. The satisfaction from beating that adversity is immeasurable. So personally, I would want to do it myself. But if someone wants to back you, good luck to you. But there is an additional pressure. And it's a different thing when you're playing with someone else's money. It sort of takes the risk out of it somehow, so it's a difficult one. But don't go skint is the answer.
Yeah, it hurts more when it's your own money, I guess, and you cherish it all the more.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can go skint because, you know, there's a game of great variance. But you're more likely to go skint playing tournament poker. The best players in the world can have a really bad run at tournament poker and lose their bankroll. If you're a capable player, and you play a cash game that's within your bankroll level, then you won't go skint, you just won't. The variance is less. And I know Billy has game, and Billy can get out of it, so I'd like to see Billy playing disciplined cash for a while. I would think a player of Billy's experience could build up a bankroll of maybe even $1,000 starting at the very lowest levels in a short period of time if he just stays disciplined. To be honest with you, tournaments are really more leery. They've got a great deal more variance in you. If you're running thin, keep away from tournaments, get into cash. It's a much better way of grinding your way back into a playable situation. Wish you well with it, Billy, because I know it pinches a bit. I know you've had a bit of a tough time. You can do it.
Yeah, good luck with that, Billy. Thanks for your email. If you've got any questions, 84222 is the text number. Put the word poker at the start of your message, or email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Okay, let's get back to the game.
So back in the cash game here, we see a three-way action. Our good friend Balrog UK, who's a regular member and poster on the Poker Night Live forum. I wish I had more time so I could post a little more and read a little more on Poker Night Live forum. I do post when I can. Any questions that come to me in that forum I always answer. But I'm just having a little bit of a time problem right now.
Not enough hours in the day.
Not enough days in the week, and so on and so forth. But fun. So everybody's ducking around and diving here with this no sorts of hands. It's 5 cents, 10 cents again, remember. I'm just trying to see what Michi's doing in this pot with 2-7. He's not in the blinds. I don't know what that was about. Calling with 7 deuce. Nothing wrong with 7 deuce, making a play, trying to get people off, but in early position, calling, I'm not quite sure what the idea is of playing the hand. In late position, make a raise to steal, or call with a view to getting people off if they miss. But calling early position with 2-7 off, I'd have to have that one explained to me as to what we're trying to achieve. Geordie with the queens. Not going to get a great deal of action, I don't think. There has been a raise by, or is it a call from Fermanagh? And a bit unfortunate for Fermanagh because Fermanagh's caught second pair, whereas Geordie has the over pair. Got quite interested now because the king's come. Fermanagh's missed the straight. We'll let go now, I would have thought, yes. All regulation stuff. I'm hoping when we get out to Walsall this weekend, up in the Midlands, for the Midlands Meadow, there'll be plenty of runners. There's a bit of a bit of a worry the last few weeks. There's been a surfeit of tournaments all over the place.
Yeah.
The numbers in live tournaments have fallen dreadfully.
Because it's just submerged with...
Well, hopefully that's the reason. The casinos don't always talk to each other in terms of when is the right time to put these on, and they seem to have this idea that the bigger the buy, the better it is. But there's only so much money to go around. And the other weekend we had a 750 tournament in Sheffield, a 1500 tournament in London, a 1000 tournament in Southampton, a 200 tournament in Nottingham. And they was all a little disappointed with their numbers, except Nottingham, who got over 100.
Right.
The others got 38, 40 and 60. But there's only so much money to go around. The Luton Triple Builder weekend, fantastic tournament.
Yeah.
3 nice playable tournaments. Had 46, 25 and 20 runners. Very, very disappointing numbers. But there's just so much choice.
So people are having to be very selective about which ones they claim.
Absolutely.
Whereas before, there would only be
You
one
would
and
only
everyone would go to it.
There would be one £1,000 main event a month, you know,
Yes.
and you'd all look forward to that. It was a big thing, but there's 3 each weekend now, and there isn't that much money to go around. Some of the venues aren't offering the best value in the world. The Showdown Poker Tour was €5,000. They got 24 runners in London, and they got, I think, 20 in Dublin. So these guys need to sort of, when people are putting events on, they need to think about who wants to attend them. Generally speaking, if you keep the buy-ins low and make them freeze out, you're going to get more runners. And that's what we want. So a little bit of a worrying time right now.
Robert H.M.'s been back in touch, Lyndsay.
Oh, no.
I am happy to be able to call Tikay a friend. As a lawyer, we don't have many, so we have to be grateful for even such small mercies. Robert, also known as The Brief, and he says, P.S. Love you really, Grandad.
I love you, Robert. You know that. Robert, we call him a estate agent. I don't know how that happened. I think somebody else called him a estate agent. Actually, he is a brief or a solicitor. And I believe that, you know, to be in the legal profession, to be a solicitor is a tremendous amount of training. You know,
You've got to be a clever boy, that's for sure.
Yeah, you have to be durable. You have to do it for a very long time before you qualify. And I believe what he does is like amongst other things, he has a number of practices. And one of his roles is duty solicitor. So when a man gets in trouble and gets arrested and gets taken to the police station, doesn't have his own solicitor, he has a right under British law to ask for a solicitor. He's entitled to be represented.
Legal aid.
Yeah, well, legal aid or not, he's entitled to be represented.
Yeah.
That is the law. He may not be charged or kept in a cell without some sort of representation. And so, you know, Robert gets sent to the police station to look after this man or this unfortunate man or lady, whatever it is, and make sure they're properly represented and get a fair hearing and made aware of their rights. Must be a very, very interesting job, actually.
It must be, yeah, especially if you think that they did it, but you've still got to represent them anyway.
Well, yeah, I asked him about this.
Because there must be some situations where they're guilty and you know they are, but you've still got to represent them and defend them.
Yeah, I mean, if the guy says, well, I did chop her head off, but, you know, I didn't mean to, well, I think I asked Robert about this, how do you deal with this? And I think he said, well, I don't really want my client to tell me that he chopped the lady's head off. I want him to fib to me, because whatever defence he puts up, I will give the best defence on their behalf. That is his job, that is the law of the land. But I don't know what happens when someone says...
But what if he knows that even if he does such a good job, he manages to get a guilty man released onto the streets?
That is his job. Now, you know, to be serious, when the guy says, yeah, I did do it, but I did it because of this reason, I wasn't very well at the time, and da-da-da-da-da, you know, a good solicitor, a lawyer, brief, call it what you will, his job is to present the case in the best possible light for the defendant. And if he completes some sort of mitigation or circumstances which make it excusable, lessen the bill, so to speak. And if he does so, then whether we like it or not, that is the British law doing its job.
Yeah.
That is his job. And so if he does get someone off, I believe that's a result. That's what he's there for.
Yeah.
And we can't have it both ways. That's how the legal system works.
Now, I also have an email from 123...
Why did he call me Grandad? Do you see that? So we're trying to make friends after we've gone from friend to acquaintance, and he says, it's nice to have you, and then he says, love you really, Grandad. Is there any need? I might tell you, Robert is 64.
That seems physically impossible then, doesn't it?
You know how old I am?
No.
43.
You look good for it.
Thank you.
I've got an email off 123CJ321 who won our MTT and has won the seat in the FHM tournament in Oslo. And CJ says, "Hi guys, great show. It's a shame the world missed my exquisite poker talent. But anyway, will Tony be attending the FHM tourney which I qualified for in Oslo?"
I may well be. I wasn't actually aware it was going on until tonight, to be honest with you. There's so many tournaments, I lose track. But I love Oslo, and I actually went to Bergen last year, which is in Norway. I had a most wonderful, wonderful time. And so if I can get across there, I will. I'm not familiar with FHM or the FHM Tour. You were telling me it's
FHM is a lads magazine.
A bloke's
It's all
magazine.
beer and boobies, to put it nicely.
Well, that's disgraceful. I don't like beer. I wasn't aware of it, but I shall have a look. If I can get out there, I will. And if I do, you know, please come up and say hi. I like to meet people out there, and Oslo is certainly on the list that I want to visit again. So if I don't get there, good luck, get that thing won. If I do get there, maybe I'll be on the same table as you. That'd be nice.
I'm sure you did play exquisitely. You must have done to win it.
He must have done to it,
Yes.
yeah.
And Tobias has been back in touch. Tobias, our lovely viewer from Sweden, who sent the weather report in
There's been a
for
misunderstanding.
Helsinki, says, "Is this how you repay me, TK, for my excellent weather report? Sweden is certainly not a part of Norway in any way. It's all a lie, a dirty, filthy lie. You have just offended Swedes in the worst possible way imaginable. However, because of your great show tonight, you are forgiven."
Well, the thing is, with due respect, he's wrong. They haven't told him yet.
What is this fantasy world you live in?
Well, you don't know. Actually, there is a thing with the Swedish and Norwegian guys that they had this rivalry, like the Scots and the Welsh, or the Scots and the English even, you know. And you know, I often mess around with them, and sometimes they get a little cross with me.
Yeah.
It is all in fun, but they are actually not sworn enemies, but there's quite a rivalry between them.
Yes.
And whether you go to Norway or go to Sweden, you'll find the same sort of players, and I enjoy their company immensely. Tobias, you know I'm pulling your plonker. And,
I hope you're not.
It was a lovely email, and I'm looking forward to my next trip to Norway, or Sweden, or wherever it is.
Iceland.
Incidentally, if you're in Sweden, I went to Martin de Niff's club in Stockholm. Martin de Niff was a WPT winner.
Right.
And Martin actually said he would meet me to take me to my hotel, and I think I'd only just started touring then.
Yeah.
And here's a WPT winner says, "Look, come to my club, I will meet you and I'll take you to a hotel." Oh, that's amazing. And I got to the club, and there was this guy outside with a bobble hat on. I didn't know him from Adam, and he says, "Are you Tony again?" I says, "Yeah." He said, "I'll take you to the hotel." I said, "Oh, fine." And I got in there, he was chatting away, and I'd not been to bed for 3 days. I was tired, I was irritated and tetchy, and I didn't want to chat. And this driver fella just kept asking me damn questions, and I was a little bit rude. And I thought, well, I better make polite conversation with him.
Yeah.
So I says, "Do you play poker at all?" And then he took his hat off at that very moment, and there was this shiny head of Martin de Niff, who was one of the world's greatest players, was chauffeuring me around. And this club is wonderful.
Yes.
And I don't know if Tobias knows the club in Stockholm. Fantastic place to go. Lovely place to play poker. So maybe we've already met there.
You never know.
So the cash game continues. Pocket fours for Gilberto. 7, 9 and ace 6. I have to say you guys have come to our rescue tonight, because we lost our MTT, as we apologised and explained, and now the emails are coming in bucket loads.
Thick and fast, yes. If you want to get a question in before the end of the show, please do. We'll be happy to read it out. 84222 is the text number. Put poker at the start and put your name on as well. Or you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. But be quick.
We did have an email earlier from a Mr. or Miss question mark. About this gentleman whose name we don't know, I'm afraid, had ace 2, but with a stack of 2,000, the blinds were 8160. he moved up all his blinds to put the blinds all in, and the small blind moved in on me. I had 500 more, considering no one else was in the pot. I decided most of my chips in the pot and called. What I want to know is, should I have moved in on a hand or passed? I thought as I had the blinds to beat, I had the best hand. Well, you didn't have the best hand in all probability, but once you put that many chips in, you're stuck with it. And therefore you have to call, you don't have any choice. The thing about this, the original mistake is, if there's a mistake, is the first mistake. Is before you put chips in a pot, you've got to see if you've got an escape route. And so you have to size your bet. And let's go back to our friend Mickey Wernick again. He's a genius at sizing his bets perfectly. And if you look at successful poker players, they can all size their bets perfectly. If you'd have put the right size bet in, you could have got away without a pain. You know, as it is, because of what you put in, I feel that you had to put the lot in. And he then goes on to say, do you think this was the right play? Well, I think once you put the raise in, yes, it was the right play. Thanks again, Lyndsay and Tikay. Keep up the good work. P.S. Sorry, Lyndsay, for taking you out with ace-ace. So whoever this was busted you with ace-ace at some stage.
Shh. That was the first tournament I played.
We don't know anything about that one, then.
Don't remember. Don't remember.
Even more worryingly, while this cash game moves on, we have an email from Anonymous. I hope you don't mind us going through these emails as the cash game continues. If we catch a big hand, we'll let you know. Hi Lyndsay, TK. Regarding the online player contemplating his first live game, and in fact it was a lady, it was Chris.
Chris,
who
a
played
female
as,
Chris,
rather
yeah.
strange, a Sekhmet I think it was, but Chris, who lives up near Blackpool, so it was a lady. Something online players should take into consideration when they start playing live competitions is the relative difference in the length of the levels. Because live games move at a much slower pace than online, you only see about 1/3 as many hands in any given time interval. So a 15-minute clock online is comparable to a 45-minute clock in a live game. If you are used to playing online, you will probably feel fairly comfortable if you don't find a playable hand for a level or so. After all, it's only 15 minutes. But you may find it exasperating to sit card dead in a live game for the equivalent 45 minutes to an hour without becoming frustrated. On the face of it, it's a simple adjustment, but one that a lot of people find difficult. Well, Mr. or Miss Anonymous, that is maybe the best email of the night. And it's a very, very good point. It moves at an entirely different pace when you play live, an entirely different pace. The ratio that Mr. Anonymous details is about right. 15 minutes online is somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour live. And you wouldn't be bothered about not playing a hand in a level online. But could you sit there for an hour without playing a hand? Well, you have to sometimes. And really this is addressed to Chris, and that's the point that Chris, one of the questions Chris was asking, what's the difference? You have to show a lot more patience, but there's more scenery to admire. When you're online, all you've got is a screen and the cat comes up and one's stroking. There's not much else to look at. When you're in a live casino and you're sitting there for an hour, there's plenty of action to amuse yourself. You can get talking with the people, you can watch what people are doing, you can pay attention, look around. You know, just generally have a nice night out, particularly if it's a fairly low level. But the point that this writer has made is very, very good, is it moves at a much, much slower pace. The hands are much, much slower being played. The cards have to be mucked and shuffled and dealt. That doesn't happen online.
Yeah, it's much more interesting watching the hands that you're not involved in live than it is online, because you
Correct.
can really take it in, try and get reads, pick things up, whereas online, when you're not involved in a hand, it's sometimes easy to get distracted, but live, it's quite easy to focus on that hand when you're sitting at the table.
When you play online, there's a very, very limited number of tells you can get from people. A, their betting patterns, and B, how fast they bet or check or raise or whatever they do. There is a limited number of tells, but when you go and play live poker, there are a million tells. I mean, what you want to do, especially if you're not handy, is sit and watch people all the time, see how they act. One of the best things you can do when you play live, you know, one of the easiest tricks to master, is that people sometimes move to act before it's their turn to act. They don't act until it's them, but you can see they're going to. I sat next to a gentleman the weekend, and I noticed that he was getting his chips ready. He had his chips in front of him, and he was getting his chips ready to act before I had acted. And so when I'm about to act with, let's say I've got a pair of fours in mid-position, I think, okay, I'm going to make a play with this pair of fours. And I, out of the corner of my eye, saw him doing that. I saw him counting his chips out. I know he's got a hand. I now pass and he raises. These are the things you can watch for in live poker. It's a fascinating game. It has so many more dimensions than it does online, and I'm sure Chris is going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. But watch for tricks like that. Watch for people who you can see are going to bet, or they suddenly sit bolt upright. Even worse than that, they sit with their iPod on and then suddenly turn their iPod off. It's not to them to act yet, but you know when they turn their iPod off, they're going to act. You know, these things are wonderful.
Yeah.
By the end of the evening, you could have 100 things you've learned. So, but the point of this post is ever so good.
Fantastic email. It's actually Red Dog who sent that email in. So well done, Red
How do
Dog.
you know that?
Great point. Because Red Dog's emailed back to tell us his name.
Well, why didn't he give us his name in the first
He wanted
place?
the credit once you said it was the best email of the night, you see. That's
It's
why.
a junk email. It's rubbish.
Oh, it's fabulous. Great point. It really is, actually.
Red is a very, very special friend, and lives an extraordinary life. He's a pro now. He plays online for a living, goes live, and he called me yesterday, I think it was, and he was playing online poker out in the garden, and I could hear the birds singing. It was absolutely wonderful. He's a nature lover as well, and are you sure that's come from Red?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because I do. I know everything.
You don't know everything. You thought Norway was in Sweden.
Right, okay, let's get back to the
Well,
game.
thank you very much, Mr. Tom. That was a lovely email.
Yeah, brilliant.
But it
Great
came up
point.
on our screen as from Anonymous. All I can say.
Right.
Right,
The
here we
game's
go.
ready. Let's head back there.
So, ace 6-6-3 flop, and we've got two players at the moment. It's aces and sixes with a 10 kicker versus aces and sixes with a 9 kicker. So, unless queen, jack, or queen or jack comes, or king, it's going to go to SG. At least SG has the best hand, and so it proves. Money giver. I do like that name. Balrog has been grinding a little tonight without too much luck.
Yeah.
We are moving towards the end of this evening's transmission.
We are, unfortunately.
I have to say, while we have time, because it always gets to the end and all of a sudden we're in a rush. We're
Yes.
on the countdown. I'd like to thank you for being so good again, Lyndsay. It's been great pleasure. I've been here, this is my second month. They gave me a month for May,
Yes.
and I thought, well, I don't know how it's going to work out. And then they sent me a rota for June.
There you go. You must be doing something right.
Well, you know, that or they're pretty desperate. I don't know, but I got a second month, so I'm delighted about that. I
Fantastic.
really enjoy doing it. I honestly do.
It's been good tonight. I've enjoyed it. And what was your overall opinion of the presenter game? Did I have a lucky night?
Oh well, it's nice when you've got aces and someone has kings. There's no doubt about that. I thought your game was solid enough. I really don't feel qualified to tell anybody how to play. I just don't. But I can just say how I would play. And
Yes,
I worry.
yeah.
You worry me with the ace deuce. You know,
Yes.
you called a quarter of your stack off.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't want to sort of labour the point, but I just think that's a leak.
Yeah, it is.
And you know, everybody, each of us has a number of leaks in our game, a number of weaknesses, and if we can cut the leaks down or
Yeah.
eradicate them, we're going to do a lot better.
That's going to be my next mission for the next week, is to really focus on
I think if you
raggy aces.
yeah, I mean, when you work, you normally work with, you know, for want of another word, proper players, and people like Tom Sandbrook, Mark Bannon, James Browning, Malcolm Harwood, whoever. When you see these guys, ask them about that play, call in with ace deuce.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll all say the same thing.
Yeah.
There are better ways to get your money in.
Yes.
And if you learn a little thing each time you play, you're not going to do too bad.
Yeah.
I thought your game was great.
One step at a time, eh?
As they say. So, 10 jack versus 4s on a queen jack jack flop. A little unlucky for Balrog. Not having the best of nights, poor fella. For Manor with the ace queen suited. I'm pleasantly surprised to find we have viewers in Scandinavia.
Yes, we do.
Wherever
we do.
it is.
Yeah, the show's broadcast over there.
Wow. So it goes all over Europe?
Yeah, and of course you can watch it online. Anywhere.
Yes, that's the point.
You can
is
watch
you
it
can watch
live
anyway,
online.
can't you? I saw a demonstration of this online transmission. I was amazed at the quality of it the other week. Excellent, isn't
Yeah.
it? So they can watch it in all sorts of places, even Scotland.
Even Scotland.
And I've got to be careful, I'm only joking.
Even Iceland.
I'm only joking. I got in trouble the other day for having some fun with the Scots, but I was only joking. But I withdraw that last remark quickly.
Yes, no, that's the beauty of the internet.
Yep. So Balrog has got ace queen. I want to see Balrog win a nice hand tonight. He's not the best of nights, is he? Another lesson. I mean, I learnt. I went to Vienna a couple of months back, and I had 3 wonderful nights in the cash. In fact, he's losing with his ace queen at the moment, and he's still losing. And unless an ace or a queen comes, oh,
Yay.
he's got there in the end. No, he won't let go now. Yeah, I had 3 wonderful nights in the cash and won quite a lot of money by any standards, or certainly by my standards, a lot of money. And I sat down the 4th night. It was one of those nights nothing went right for me, just nothing. And if I'd have been a brighter or cleverer guy, I'd have got up and left. But I didn't. I thought I could beat variance. I thought I could beat luck, and I sat there for 16 hours because they play non-stop in Vienna. You know, it never closes. So I sat there from 10 o'clock on the evening till 4 o'clock the following afternoon.
Goodness me.
And to make it worse, I had a lot of money in my pocket. I'd won all this money. It was in €500 notes. And, you know, €500 notes are wonderful things. That's a £350 note.
Yeah.
But they're very easy to sort of drift away out your pocket. And I kept pulling up another 500, another 500, thinking it would turn. If you're having a bad night, just quit.
Don't throw good money after
I
bad.
just kept thinking I could make it turn. It was never going to turn.
Yeah.
I think I won a hand the whole night. And so sometimes you have to say, it's not going to be my night, get out quick.
Quit when you're ahead.
Yeah, so I managed to win a fortune in 3 nights and give 80% of it back the 4th night, which was pretty depressing.
Got an email from Red Dog, nature lover, who you've just been talking about, sent in the brilliant email about live play. Red Dog says, just to clarify, I do play poker in the garden and I am a nature lover. That doesn't mean I play in the nude. Yes, there's a difference between a nature lover and a naturist.
Well, when he rang me, he was playing and I could hear the birds singing. I felt very jealous, actually. To tell you one more thing, we're almost out of time. But I hope Red Dog doesn't mind me saying this. Red Dog is actually a Romany gypsy, and he lives a wonderful life. And I said to him one day, well, you know, what is the great thing about a Romany gypsy living in a real caravan and so on and so forth? He said, let me tell you this, Tony. He says, sometimes I get up in the morning, and if I've got fed up with a view, he said, I turn my caravan round. Now, can you do that?
Yeah, you can't pick up your house and turn it around, can you?
No. And the amazing thing, without getting too deep in this issue, the amazing thing is that he is officially, legally, an ethnic minority. That's the way the government treat Romany gypsies. They are ethnic minorities. It's a subject we could spend hours on, but anyway, thank you, Tom. Good luck to you, man.
Yes, and keep your clothes on.
Oh, you wouldn't want to see him without clothes, trust me, trust me.
And thanks for getting in touch with the show.
He has a wife and he has 13 children.
13, goodness me.
All girls.
Goodness me.
Approximately.
Yeah, it must be hard to keep count. Thanks to everyone who sent emails into the show tonight. It's been great fun. Thanks for getting in touch with us. We've had a great night. We hope you tune in tomorrow from 10 o'clock. It's not us on, but as always, live from 10 o'clock here, Poker Night Live, so tune in then. You're off to Helsinki tomorrow. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoy it. Paris as well, straight after that. Hopefully I'll be working with you soon and I can find out how you got on.
Yes, and as Robert says, the old pacemaker battery needs replacing after a night spent with you. But I've had a wonderful evening. Thank you for all the emails. And
you're not going to get much sleep though. You've got to fly out early in the morning, haven't you?
I've got 2.5 hours. So I don't know if I should go to bed or do some work, but...
No, you can
whatever.
sleep. You can sleep on the plane.
Yeah, but I'm going to get a train to Heathrow in the morning, so that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
Trains are nice things.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck. We hope you do well. Thanks to everyone for watching tonight. Thanks for all your emails and texts. Tune in tomorrow from 10. We have to go now, unfortunately. It's the end of the show. But take care. Thanks for watching. Good night.